Access Sacramento presents Hometown Sports Game of the Week. This program is funded in part by a grant from the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission.
Many of the area high schools have already begun league play around the Sac Joaquin section, but many others still have one more week of non-conference games before they engage league opponents. And that's the case tonight. Access Sacramento has journeyed to Rancho Cordova for this evening's Hometown Sports Game of the Week as the host Cordova Lancers greet the visiting Foothill Mustangs. Good evening and welcome to Lancer Stadium here on the campus of Cordova High School with the Imperator of Analysis and Hall of Famer Jim Domino. I'm Will James. We welcome you. And tonight, a provocative type of matchup. Two non-conference opponents trying to steady their respective ships as they enter league play next week, and two young coaches leading the way.
Well, we certainly do have two young coaches, and one particularly in his first year coaching, Foothill coach Eustace. But tonight, Will, as you mentioned, this is the last tune-up before league play. And so both want to go all out. And there's been a lot of points scored in their previous 4 or 5 ball games. So we expect a lot of high scoring going tonight, and we'll see where defense comes into play. And we haven't seen much out of defense out of these two teams in the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Now, these two teams have built up a little history in recent years. This is their 4th meeting, and let's take a look at the last time these two teams met.
Well, at their last meeting, Cordova won 3 straight over Foothill and handily beating them 56-14 with no problems whatsoever. Won their 3rd straight victory over Foothill.
A lopsided affair that both coaches feel will be much tighter tonight, and that remains to be seen. Now, the last outings for both ball clubs, not so good. They're coming into this contest needing some positive momentum before engaging league play next week.
Well, Foothill played Rio Linda and entertained them and lost 34-12, losing their 3rd straight. They had won their opener, but turned around and lost this one. Meanwhile, Cordova ran into that vaunted passing attack, Vista del Lago, that models a lot of their offense like Folsom's system. And Cordova was on the losing end, even though they scored 33 points, going down 54-33.
Well, certainly that type of scoring indicates that impact players again will be headlined tonight for both quads. And let's start with the visiting Foothill Mustangs, the Major Mustangs.
Well, the Major Mustangs, let's start with Travion Drummer, the outstanding wide receiver and defensive back. He's a punt returns, kickoff return specialist, threat to go all the way. Amos Taylor, number 6, two-way starter, having a great year, averaging 7.3 running, outstanding receiver. And we go to Churchill, Isaiah Churchill, another two-way starter, very gifted athlete. And last but not least, 54, two-way starter, big-time college recruit, TJ Pasifia. And a lot of colleges are trying to get him to commit right now. All 6'5", 275, and he's rated an outstanding college prospect.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to seeing him in action tonight. And Coach Eustace, of course, hoping for a big game from his stud in the line. Now, Coach Darren Nill of the Lancers will counter with his impact players. The Lancers leaders playing at home tonight must come up big.
They do, and let's start with number 1, Jonelle Sanders, having a huge year, throwing for almost 1,000 yards and running for another 200 yards. He's been involved in 11 touchdowns in the passing game and 1 more touchdown running. Alvin Do-It-All Banks, take it to the bank with Alvin. He does it all, you name it, wide receiver, defensive back, runs back kickoffs, kicks off himself. He does it all. And then Raymond Fight, number 12, running back, defensive back, outstanding wide receiver. And then their big hitter on defense, leading the team in tackles, Ryan McMoore. Outstanding linebacker. Will come in and play some tight end, but Ryan, one of the top linebackers in the city.
Well, that's the way it's shaking out right now as we're just minutes before tonight's opening kickoff. We urge you to stand by and stay right there with us. Rick Stewart has a lot more on tonight's matchup. Stay with us.
My grandfather served in World War II. Spending time with him were the best memories of my life. I became a physician at VA because of my grandfather, so I can help others like him. I can't imagine working with better doctors or a more dedicated staff. I'm fulfilling my life's mission with the help of my team and thanks to these veterans. I'm proud to be a doctor at VA and proud to honor my grandfather every day. Search VA Careers to find out more.
I tell people I have 3 kids, one of them's adopted, I just don't know which one.
I can't imagine having to be in a birth mother's position to make that choice.
You know, I was kind of just asking her, you know, what is your motivation? Why are you doing this? And she looked at me and she said, because you can give my son a life that I could not.
We always tell her thank you. He is such a blessing to us.
Every day is just a ray of sunshine from him. So we're Chanda and Brian, and we chose adoption.
After 15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking, now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome to Access Sacramento's hometown sports game of the week. This evening we're in Rancho Cordova, where the host Cordova Lancers are taking on visiting Foothill High School. And for more on tonight's matchup, let's bounce it down to field level and join our partner Rick Stewart. Rick?
Alrighty, tonight we've got a study in contrast. Both young coaches, like Will and Jim talked about earlier. One is really young in the grand scheme of things, but let's talk about Foothill first. Anthony Eustace is the head coach. It's his first year. He's been assistant coach and he worked with Foothill. You can see him right there. His career record is 1-3. It's new. There's not a lot to say other than he's really excited about the program, even though he's got a lot of turnover this year in his program and new team players. Now let's talk about Cordova for a second. Their head coach, Darren Nill, it's his third year. You can see his record there. It's 14-11 over those 3 years. He's guided the Lancers to the postseason now, second year in a row, trying to rebuild this Cordova Lancers program to the glory that they have had in the past. It's a job to do, but he's the man to do it. He's got a lot of confidence in these players and the organization that is surrounding him school-wise. Now let's talk about the two teams here tonight. Let's talk about their series history. It's the fourth meeting since 2014. Cordova won the first 3 games. They averaged a victory margin of 30 points, and Cordova leads the series obviously 3-0, and Foothill's trying to get on the board tonight. Now we do have one common opponent for both these two teams. The common opponent is Rio Linda. And you can see what both teams have done. Rio Linda took care of Foothill 34-12, and Cordova eked out a 1-point win, 34-33 over Rio Linda in the year. So we've got 2 young teams guided by young coaches, good foundations for their programs. Going to be a nice night for football, guys. I think we're ready to go. How about you?
Well, I think we are, and I know we are, because the Imperator here is chomping at the bit, and certainly we're going to take this game apart from an analytical point of view, and we did touch on some of that early on in our pregame, and certainly the cast of characters changes from year to year, but
well, it certainly does. Coach Nill now has been in his third year here and doing a terrific job with the Lancers, getting them back, trying to get them back to where they were years ago, and working very hard in the program. Coach Eustace, brand new over there at Foothill, talking to him in the pregame a little bit. One of the former players of famous Coach Frank Negri of the Foothill Mustangs, who had had a lot of success back in the 70s and 80s, and had a tremendous rivalry with El Camino at that time. So we expect a lot of fireworks here tonight, Will, and certainly both these ball clubs have given up a lot of points, but they have the ability to score a number of points a number of ways, particularly Cordova. They've got so many big playmakers on that football team.
Well, they do indeed, and you touched on the most prominent ones, and let's go ahead and focus on your keys to tonight's contest.
Okay, my keys are, let's start with major matchup, the Cordova big play receivers versus Foothill secondary. That's going to drive that secondary of Foothill, Taylor, Green, and Drummer and Rayos. I'm going to tell you, they're going to be tested in there by big-time Banks, Colvin, and Fight, Bankett. It's really, what a challenge. Defensively, the Lancers score a ton of points. They give up points too. The Mustangs haven't been scoring. Coach Eustace certainly wants to put a little more bite in that offense and then take it to the Banks. I mean, really, this guy does it all. Alvin Banks, 6 feet, 175, has a tremendous year, running for 94 yards, has 567 yards, 8 touchdowns. He can do it all: kickoff, return punts, etc. Double whammy, the turnovers, penalties. These two items coaches would love to avoid. However, they're present in every game, Will, and we don't like to see games decided by penalties and turnovers, but unfortunately, they come into play.
Well, besides the penalties and turnovers, there's always something that is disheartening for fans, coaches, players, spectators, what have you, and we like to see teams playing at full capacity, and it's always unfortunate when we know about injuries, and tonight's game, no exception. They're both playing shorthanded, so to speak. The missing Mustangs, according to Anthony Eustace, the Mustangs head coach, Terrell Morris was their top football player. And earlier this season in the Jamboree versus Folsom, he suffered his third concussion, and he is out indefinitely, but certainly finished for this year. We wish him the best. And Willie Goebel, one of the bright stars around the area, he'll be a Mustang, but not activated until next week. So a couple of key players there not available tonight for the Mustangs. That should be duly noted. And, of course, Coach Darren Nill has also 2 ball players that are not available this evening.
Well, big losses in Calvin Augusta for the Lancers, really. Leg fracture here recently, out for the year. He was tremendously productive, having received 25 for 329 yards, 4 touchdowns, a really go-to. Anthony Diaz, another one broken in. Anthony Diaz has done a number of things. Outstanding receiver, 12 tackles on defense. They're going to miss him. Hopefully, they think they may get him back, but boy, those are 2 big losses for the Lancers.
Cordova casualties and missing Mustangs definitely prominent. And we see there one of the walking wounded, so to speak. We don't like to see that, and we wish speedy recoveries from all people involved.
There's Calvin Augusta, there you see him.
And it should be noted, besides his receiving, he's thrown 2 touchdown passes this year on options. And he's got a strong arm, according to Coach Nill, a dynamite arm, and twice he hooked up for long TDs this year, and even dating back to last year, he's never thrown an incompletion.
Amazing, 2 for 2. You know, hey, batting 1,000, isn't he? Amazing.
Someone we haven't yet touched on, Coach Domino, perhaps the biggest key player with all the intangibles swirling around tonight's contest, and that is Carlos Merced, starting quarterback for the Foothill Mustangs. Coach Eustace and staff really need for this young man who's in a pinch, serving a role here he's not accustomed to, nor has he been trained for. You got to give this young man a ton of credit, lots of courage there, and we'll keep an eye on his performance tonight. There you see Carlos Merced.
Well, outstanding athlete who probably got pressed into that quarterback position, as you mentioned, Will. And I think tonight he's got to manage the football game and hopefully come out of here with a little better passing percentage, and I think he will. He's got a few games under his belt now, and I think maybe those jitters are over, and he can, Coach needs him to be the athlete that he is and stay away from those picks.
And Coach Eustace believes that though they've dropped 3 in a row, this could be the night for a breakout and for production and performance that he hasn't seen yet at a higher level. So that's part of the mystery and intrigue in tonight's contest as the warm-ups continue down on the field. It's a Week 4 non-league matchup, and it's Foothill's Mustangs coming in here out of the Pioneer Valley to face the host Cordova Lancers out of the Sierra Valley Conference. Don't wander off. We'll be right back for more of Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week.
Facing life's difficulties takes strength and determination. Whether it's physical challenges or struggles you can't see, it takes strength to ask for help when you need it. Learn how other veterans have reached out and hear their stories of strength and recovery at maketheconnection.net.
Rancho Cordova High School, the site this evening for Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week. A non-league football matchup, host Cordova taking on the visiting Foothill Mustangs. A beautiful evening around the entire area, and Lancer Stadium illuminated to the maximum, dusk starting to turn into full-scale evening darkness, and ideal conditions for these two squads. What I like so much about this matchup, Jim, is the commitment from the head coaches who have taken over programs woefully in distress, trying to correct the directions. And it takes so much once a team is down and a program is down to pull them up, get them up on their feet again. And it takes a tremendous amount of effort by the entire coaching staff of these teams in order to do that.
Well, it is. It's a great challenge. And they both, Darren Hill and Coach Eustace, you saw Coach Eustace across the way, and there's the offensive coordinator for Coach Darren Hill, Kyle, who's been with him up in Oak Ridge prior to both of them transferring here. They both have big jobs, and they're up to it. They're both hardworking guys. Coach Eustace, his first year as a head coach, a former player out of Coach Negri's regime back in the day. And now you see Foothill trying to get their program started again, encouraging youngsters to participate in the game. It just, my hat's off to them because both of them work endlessly to get the best out of their kids. So we wish them the best. Coach Nill has made strides in 3 years, certainly. Each year, Cordova takes another step to being where they were. And you got to give Coach Nill and his wife and his staff credit for working 7 days a week plus.
Well, certainly an absolute dedication to reaching level after level, and he's done some wonderful things, and we'll touch on some of those later in the broadcast, but he has really breathed some fresh air and some new life into this program. A program that has floundered but has steadied now, and as far as visiting Foothill, a program that had just absolutely been run into the ground. Since 2012, their collective record for the Foothill Mustangs football program, 8-42, and since 2010, 15-55. Their last winning season under head coach Alan Berg was 2009, as the Mustangs posted a 7-4 mark. So tip of the cap to Coach Eustace and his staff, and certainly the same congrats for what Darren Neal and his staff bring to the Cordova Lancers. And there you see Coach Neal right there, who's truly raised the bar a number of times. Wonderful conditions here. You see the temperature lingering around 70, slight wind, the humidity factor way down compared to previous weeks. And I think I can see at least 10 or 11 miles, huh, Jim?
Oh, it's a beautiful night. No wind. This is a coach's dream, a player's dream to play under these conditions. I mean, fall has just arrived, and to me, this is perfect. As a coach, I always loved it when the wind wasn't a factor for either team in any sport, outdoor sport, and this is perfect. So we got a great setting, and hopefully we will have a great ball game on our hands.
Beautiful wide shot right there, and you can see the crowd that's gathered here prior to the kickoff, and what wonderful conditions it is. Very pleasant shirt sleeve weather, ideal conditions. And back to Coach Neal and his efforts here at Cordova, we definitely want to shout out to his staff. Kyle Roulette, the offensive coordinator, D coordinator John McCoy, Rod Guerra handling the running backs, the O-line, D-line guru, Gerald Lawrence, Mark Timonelli, and Keeson Caston round out the coaching staff here for the Cordova Lancers. And we will have the gentlemen in the striped shirts to introduce to you, because they're on the spot tonight to call a good game, and I think it's in good hands with veteran Hal Steinbach, a veteran of at least 30 years in this region, keeping things fair and square from the referee's position. He'll work with umpire Steve Jones. Leonard Hudnall, our head linesman this evening. The line judge tonight, Jeff Jackson, and Mike Dominguez will serve as the back judge. So we're anticipating a game that will be monitored fairly and evenly.
Well, if in talking with Coach Darren Neal during the week, Will, he again credited all of his staff members, but particularly Kyle Roulette, who worked with him up in Oak Ridge, and has said despite losing a quarterback, they put points on the board. And he said that's the credit to Kyle Roulette in that offense. He says he feels he can score off anybody.
Well, as I understand it, they did lose a quarterback, but it surely appears that they've got themselves a real gem at that QB position, and we've been excited all week in anticipation of checking out John L. Sanders.
Well, listen, on your program, he's listed as 5'8", 165, but I'll tell you what, he makes things happen. He's accounted for almost 1,000 yards, 986 passing. He's run for another 200. He's accounted himself passing or running for 12 touchdowns. And Coach Neal said he is exciting. And when you think about he had no experience coming in and what he's done. There he is out in the field, number one, and you'll see a lot of him tonight.
Nice tight shot of the co-captains for both squads, and they change positions here to indicate who kicks and who receives. And there you see the Steinbach designation that Foothill will kick, Cordova will receive, and we'll be right back to access Sacramento's hometown sports game of the week for this evening's opening kickoff. Stay with us.
The linesman will be Leonard Hudnall, the line judge will be Jeff Jackson, and the back judge will be Mike Dominguez. Ladies and gentlemen, the visiting Foothill Mustangs are coached by Anthony Eustace.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
Rod Guerra, John McCoy, Jerry Lawrence, and Keyshawn Paxton.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions.
I love it.
Cross-referencing travel sites. And booking all your flights with those...
vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh. But now they're like... Aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
To perform our national anthem, they are led by Kevin Sims. Coming in from the other end of the field is our varsity ROTC, our Cordova High ROTC program.
Nice to have you with us this evening, particularly on such a pleasant evening here in Rancho Cordova, where Access Sacramento's hometown sports game of the week originates, as the host Lancers of Cordova will take on the visiting Foothill Mustangs. And Cordova High's outstanding marching band now coming out on the field, along with the ROTC color guard here at Lancer Stadium for this evening's national anthem. Outstanding rendition of our Star Spangled Banner by the Rancho Cordova High marching band under the direction of Kevin Sims.
I like those types of renditions, Will. Really they're great traditional stuff.
They certainly are, and here at Cordova High, they have not lost touch with that type of tradition, and of course, honoring our country, its flag, and all it stands for. Well, we see here the band marching off, the respective sidelines filled with eager anticipation from these two squads to get this game underway. And as mentioned before, an ideal evening for spectators, fans, and those that came in to see tonight's ball game. And it should be noted, Jim, a most unusual feature of the Cordova Lancers, as you see their black clad, trimmed in Cordova red numerals, Coach Neal, with his magnificent gathering of funding provided on a bond for community enhancement. Not only has he acquired the high-tech, high-tone concussion caution system with the helmets and so forth, but they have 32 possible uniform combinations here for the Cordova High football team. 32 combinations. Tonight we get the black with the red numerals.
Wow. And that's not even counting the two types of helmets. He's got the black helmets and the white, correct?
That's a fact. And here we go, ready to get underway with the Foothill kickoff from the foot of Jose Gutierrez. Twin returners are Banks and Fight. Low, bobbled, and picked up and coming to the near side. Banks turns the corner and tripped up from behind, but a good return and excellent field position to open up for the host Lancers as they start their first set at about the 40-yard line. And their offense, as we mentioned, led by a red-hot quarterback, John L. Sanders, who has had some amazing games. That's the Foothill offense, the Cordova offense on the field right now, and really Sanders has had a superlative season with games of 5 touchdown passes and 4 touchdown passes among his 11. So here's the first play from scrimmage from the Cordova 40. Triple wide receivers, quick hitch, left side. Hit and run, and a big gainer on first down as they immediately go to Banks upstairs for a big gainer. Move the flags, move the chains. First down, Cordova.
Let's go.
Well, there's the alignment, Jim.
Well, there you have it. Look at John Neal starts it right off with a completion. Do it all, Banks. Bank it, Colvin, and Fight. Watch those wide receivers.
That was a gain of 15. Football at the Foothill 45. Turn and give. Right side running, Banks. Picks his way, waits for the block, turns the corner again, and gets banged out of bounds, but not until he reaches near the 30 for almost another 15-yard pickup.
Well, Banks is almost matching his number, 16, on 2 successive plays. He's wearing 16, and he's accounted for approximately 32 yards in the first 2 plays of the game, Will.
Football parked at the 34 of Foothill. That was a gain of 11 after the 15-yard pickup. Again, triple wide left for the red-hot offense led by Sanders. Up the gut running is stuffed. They stayed at home, and Chase Allen had no daylight. Nice stop by that interior line that's kind of going to be on the spot tonight to provide pass pressure against this passing
Well,
attack.
it is. Pasafia, the Pasavia brothers and Richards are on the spot to put a little heat on Janelle Sanders.
He fakes it and keeps it, and off the right side, he's got big daylight. Turned the corner, inside the 10, dropped at about the 6. How about that?
Well, he ran over one of the secondary, Foothill secondary people. Very impressive run on the part of Janelle Sanders, but he turned the corner real easy. And here, within minutes, Cordova is in the red zone and looks like it's right about on the 5, Will. I'll tell you, they're making it look easy.
Making it look easy. From the 6-yard line, a first and goal. As they snap from the near hash mark, right side. Sanders, they blast it straight ahead. A run play with Elijah Jenkins. They're shy of the goal line, but they're inside the 5 at about the 4.
I'm impressed with the ball handling of Janelle Sanders. I can see he's truly looks like a great read option. There you see with 2 running backs almost in a kind of a pistol set. An I formation, almost an I pistol.
Turn and give. A right side blast is stacked. The pile moves forward and stopped at the 1. So they go to the same Elijah Jenkins, and they're at the 1. 3rd and goal. There's a look at that Foothill defense being challenged right now.
Well, they certainly are. Richards, Opressa, and Pasafia brothers are right with their backs against the wall in that end zone.
The no-huddle offense by the Lancers happening quickly. Not much space in between. Right side run. Touchdown Lancers as they smack it in on 3rd and goal. Sanders, the spark, just showed why on that drive. So host Cordova jumps out to a 6-0 lead with 9:22 left. That drive did not take long. No huddles and little time in between. The score comes at the 9:22. And they line up for an apparent PAT. All-purpose Banks, do-it-all Banks, has been solid from there.
I think they're almost going to use it. Forced Coach Nill because they're missing a tackle. Coach Nill is unhappy about having to use a timeout.
I would think so. So a disgruntled offense comes off the field for a busted momentum here.
Well, they know that despite the fact that they scored in relatively 2 minutes and change, that they're going to get an earful from their head coach.
You had mentioned that Banks is a do-it-all player, and he certainly is. He's got impressive statistics in 6 categories. And, oh boy, what a delight to have him on your squad. So let's see what happens here after the wasted timeout, you might say. Banks back out there looking to kick. Raymond Fight to do the holding. Long snapper, Anthony Peterson. Soccer-style kicker, Banks. Bad snap, spotted, booted. No good. Poor mechanics on the snap and a botched PAT, so we're going to go to break right now, and that's why it's only 6-0. But here's why it is 6, as Sanders sneaks in from the 1. We'll be right back. Touchdown Lancers as they smack it in on 3rd and goal. Sanders.
What about my privacy?
It's protected.
And the music I listen to. Protected.
What about how I wear my hair?
And the things I say and write?
The Constitution protects your rights.
It isn't an old, fading piece of paper.
It's a living document.
The Constitution says there are 3 branches of government.
So we're kind of like the 4th branch of government.
We are the future of America.
Find out how you could become part of Constitution Day.
For me.
For all.
For real.
Constitution Day is every day.
Cordova High set to kick off after driving the field rapidly and scoring. They missed the PAT, so it's 6-0. Banks to do the kicking. The deeper receivers, Drummer and Green, 8 and 11. A pooch just beyond the front row. Sneaking through an opening, Drummer, but he's shoved back now, trying to shake loose and cannot as he's gang tackled. But they're going to spot this way up close to the 30-yard line where the forward progress was halted. Let's see here. From the 28 or so is where they'll open shop.
Well, Travion Drummer really has got to keep going vertically and cannot afford that many moves and let the pursuit all catch up with him now. Again, your object is they did get beyond the 20, up to the 27-yard line, but he's got to get vertically faster than that.
Cordova striking 60 yards in 7 plays, just over 2.5 minutes to get that opening touchdown, and that's where we are now. Nice to have you with us in case you just tuned in. Foothill, first play from scrimmage. And a delay in getting this one off. Carlos Merced at the quarterback position for the Mustangs. Out of the gun, fires left, incomplete. A lot of traffic over there.
A lot of traffic, and it looked like I saw Pasifia going down the field, and I thought a quick screen was being set up.
Okay, for head coach Anthony Eustace, his offense will open with Merced at the QB position, BJ Abrasizi. The wideouts, Churchill, Taylor, Drummer, and Green. A nice quartet, but somebody's got to get him the football. Offensive line, Perez, Garnica, Anderson, Anthony James, and the man, T.J. Pisafia. Keep your eyes on 54. He's special.
Watch how long he stands. He'll be one of the last guys to go down in the stance as he was in the first play from scrimmage. Let's see what he does, the big left tackle.
He has got recruiting interests from a number of universities, as you mentioned in the pregame, Jim, and he's highly regarded. 2nd and 10. Turn and give, nothing doing. Absolutely nowhere to go for Abrasizi. And he's hitting the backfield, and it's going to be a loss of about 3.
Well, that front of Calvin, Turner, Allen, Trujillo, that defensive Cordova is really quick. 52 Turner was all over it.
Trujillo, Allen, Turner, and Colvin, that front 4 for Cordova. And boy, some rampaging linebackers there. Pugh, Jenkins, and McMoore, they're 3 leading tacklers right there. And the secondary quartet, speed to burn, and they're all offensive players as well.
That's a coach's dream with that athletic secondary, Will.
3rd and 14 after the 4-yard loss. Big play for both squads here, but Foothill on the hook, deep in their territory. Quick hitch right side, bobbled up in the air and incomplete off the shoulder pads of Jordan Green. 4th and 14.
That will bring up 4th and 14 for the Mustangs.
Well, the punting unit comes out. Jose Gutierrez to do the booting. In fact, he handles all kicking chores. And head coach Anthony Eustace having a word over there with Green after that last play.
Officials timeout, Will. I think we have an equipment check by head referee Steinbeck is taking the punter out right now to get an equipment change, apparently. And in that process, while we're waiting, Will, they had the ball 3 downs and punt in 1 minute and 23 seconds total. That's not the kind of offense you want to have this early in the ball game.
So evidently not really an equipment issue, but more of attire with the bandana worn under the helmet. And Steinbeck says, no, that won't shake out here, as he's addressing one of the Mustangs there who may have had some conflicting opinions about that.
Well, Coach is checking with Coach Steinbeck here now what's going to be allowed. They're having a short conference here to find out.
Well, with folded arms in front of him, Anthony Eustace does not look like he's posturing with any kind of a presence of accepting what's happening out there right now. Otherwise, this conversation would have concluded.
Well, when you get a veteran official like Coach Hal Steinbeck, who's been doing this 30-plus years, as you mentioned, Will, again, irregardless of what Coach says they've been allowing for the first 3 games, he's not going to allow it, and it's by the book that he's quoting. Once again.
Oh, boy. A spent timeout in the midst of this confusion, and we'll step back ourselves. Do not wander off. We'll be right back for more of Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week.
Facing life's difficulties takes strength and determination. Whether it's physical challenges or struggles you can't see, it takes strength to ask for help when you need it. Learn how other veterans have reached out and hear their stories of strength and recovery at maketheconnection.net.
There's the snap, a blocked punt inside the 5-yard line. Picked up by one of the Mustangs, but a scramble into the end zone. Touchdown Lancers on a blocked punt and carry in deep in that Mustang red zone. That makes it 12-0, and Lightning striking quickly here as we see the man of the moment, Chase Allen, with the scrambling recovery and a TD. That comes at the 7:48 mark, and we'll take another look as they line up for the PAT, wait for the replay, and Cordova trying to even things out to get 2 here and make it be 14. Late substitutions wandering onto the field for Foothill as the Lancers deploy triple wide receivers to the right. Sanders keeps, rolls, looks, and throws. Got it! A 2-point hookup, a nice bullet strike to the end zone.
Jordan, right here.
And Colvin, that would be Jordan Colvin. Josh, his brother, plays on the D line. So the connection is good for 2. And the score, Cordova 14, Foothill 0, and again, early blitz by the host Lancers. So we've seen superior play offensively by the Sanders-driven offense. And we've seen tough D and a special team big play, a block punt.
Well, it's amazing. In the first 4 minutes, we've got 13 points on the board. 14 points with the 2-pointer, all for Cordova. And right now, Foothill is receiving the ball, having had the ball a total of 1 minute and 23 seconds of this quarter. So let's see if Foothill can put something together here and maybe get a good return and get in decent field position.
So the Lancers set to kick off. Again, Green and Drummer, the deep receivers for the Foothill Mustangs. And taken on a line drive outside the 5. Drummer working right, slips a tackle and gets hit and driven down outside the 30 at about the 33. Let's turn our attention to field level and Rick Stewart.
All right, the ruling on the field was the player had a bandana hanging down, which you might have seen, but they had told him several times before to take it off, as well as other players. So he had to sit out of play. That led to a punter that wasn't ready to do it for the punt block and the touchdown recovery. Back to you guys.
Okay, Rick, thank you very much. So Foothill has the pill, 1st and 10 from the Mustangs 33, staring up at a 14-0 deficit just a few minutes into this ball game. And look what's happened here. That's Hal Steinbeck, by the way, our referee.
That call goes against our Lancers.
So they move it to the 48-yard line, a 15-yard penalty. Short yardage play, crossing midfield. We'll give him a gain of 3 on the play.
It looked like Abruzzi with about 4, Will.
Well, he's a tough short yardage runner, not expected to make big plays, but picks up 2. We'll call it 2nd and 8. Football just across the midfield stripe. Foothill trying to get something underway here, down by 14. Turn, give, straight ahead plunge. Nice burst, getting nearly to the Cordova 45, but it's going to bring up 3rd and intermediate, about 4 yards after a gain of 4.
Well, with 3rd and 4, Will, despite the fact that only being at midfield, I look for the Mustangs, who haven't had much offense this year, to treat it almost like, believe it or not, 4-down territory. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if they don't make a first down.
I fully agree. Double wide receivers to the near side. Well, they blast ahead, rather, Abruzzi. Power running and an impressive blast for a first down, a badly needed first down by the Mustangs.
I like the second effort. Look at the yards after contact. Very impressive. Going hard. Let's have another look at this. And now you see, leading with the big tackle, you see Abruzzi again bounding off. Look at him going up the field, dropping his pad level, and yards after contact, a good 6-7 additional yards, Will. Very impressive, hard running.
Gain of 10, 1st and 10. Football parked at the Lancer 37. Foothill on the move. Motion in the backfield, penalty mark flies. Well, we saw the movement there, and it was unfortunate. Upressa.
On the way.
Yeah, Upressa moving now. He's been, previous to that, he led the blocking for that run that Abrasese had just made. Watch him. They line him up in the backfield and use him like almost a pulling guard. Let's see. There he is again. Watch him in the backfield. He's lined up in the backfield. Big 71.
5-yard penalty, 1st and 15 from the 42 of Cordova. Turn and give. There he is again.
Well,
Abrasese, they're waiting for him this time, but he does make the 40 for gain of 2, make it 2nd and 13. Clock rolling here, 5.5-minute marks here in the first half, and so far the home fans here at Cordova have been treated to 2 early Lancer touchdowns, 1 offensively, 1 defensively.
Watch Antonio Upresa. He's going to take you to the football. The big 71 leads the lead blocker.
Okay, big down coming up here, 2nd and extra. Turn and give. Nice jitterbug move at the 40 and then shove back hard. It's going to bring up 3rd and long as the carry goes to the 37 or so. So they get 3 on the play. Another look.
Take a look at this. You see Abrasese again. No, not Abrasese as a replacement there. We'll get a look. Again, 71 with the lead blocker, big Abrasese.
So it's going to bring up 3rd and 9, the football at the Cordova 37. Closer to a 3-yard pickup. But as you say, Jim, I would not be surprised if they play out all 4 downs.
Well, I definitely do. They don't want to give the ball back to the Lancers, definitely.
Merced wants to throw. Near side, high on his throw, a slant, and that one got Drummer drilled in the back. He was open momentarily. The high throw incomplete. 4th and 9.
Well, there was no rush. He had good protection. Good protection probably, and Carlos just threw off that back foot and just threw it a little too high for Drummond to gather it in, and it would have been close to a first down, Will.
Merced 0 for 3 through the air. Abrasese's been the workhorse, 5 carries for 14 to lead the Foothill offense. Big play upcoming, 4th down and 9, as you thought they would. They go for it. Fairly good protection. Now he's flushed and sacked. Well, credit. That was excellent pass rushing after it looked like he had momentary time, but that was not the case, and getting in there, 2 of the Cordova Lancers for the sack. The ball goes over, and now Sanders and company back on the field. 1st and 10 from the Lancer 43. Triple wide receivers dispatched to the near side as Sanders looks over his formation. Turn and give, up the gut running, power running for short yardage, and they get a few on the carry by their newly installed running back, Chase Allen.
Chase Allen for about 3 in there, and like you said, he just new to see action. Starts on defense as well as a defensive tackle. Watch Janelle Sanders here and keep an eye on take it to the banks.
Bobble and a quick throw, incomplete, a high strike. That area was open, but a little high on the throw. He may have rushed it on the toss intended for Jordan Colvin. So that'll bring up 3rd and 7 after the incompletion. A large bag of tricks for Darren Nill and his Lancer offense. The trigger man, John L. Sanders. He's got it, keeps, throws on the run, incomplete, going for Banks. A short throw, and it's going to bring up 4th and 7 and a probable Lancer punt.
Once again, John L was going backward there. He really couldn't get his shoulder up the field, Will, and threw the ground ball. Banks would have had enough for the first down.
So Sanders through the air thus far, 1 for 3, good for 15 yards, but he did engineer that speedy opening drive to take the lead, and they have since increased it to 14-0, but a punt apparently upcoming. Chase Allen to do the chores. He's averaging 38 per boot, and a single safety. Drummer dispatched for the Mustangs. They fake it. It's no punt. Banks is going to keep it, and he's got a ways to go and slips free for a huge first down.
Well, that's why we named him Take It to the Bank. He can do it all. You name it. Fake the punt. Didn't even have to fake the punt. He saw the Lancers just relaxing and picked up about 15, Will, enough to move the chains. Let's look at this here.
That's why I always say an apparent punt.
There you go.
Well disguised. They had him for a moment, but he shook it right there.
And got a good block, and a second good block, and Banks is elusive.
From the 44-yard line of the Foothill Mustangs, a new set of downs. Deep throw, right sideline. He's got Banks out in front to the 5. Touchdown, Lancers. Wow, as he was able to beat Travion Drummer flat.
Well, I'll tell you what, they knew where they were going right now. He went to the fade, TD, long pass.
That was a beautiful strike, as you see the Cordova cheerleaders celebrating that fact as the lead stretches to 20-0. The score comes at the 3:05, late first, and the Lancers aerial circus continues to push forward.
Well, as we mentioned, John L. Sanders had 900-plus yards, 986 coming in the game.
Well,
over 1,000 now.
Fight will do the holding, Banks to do the booting, big rush, but he gets it off and got it. At 3:05, late first, Lancers are on the board, and this is how they added the latest one. Home run derby, Sanders to Banks. We'll be right back for more of Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week.
Well, he beat Taylor pretty easy.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Well, the early shock treatment continues here from Cordova High. The host Lancers turning up the heat on visiting Foothill, now on top 21-0, and they've done it in all different ways. Here's the kickoff, short, but straight away. Taken on one bounce, up the field. Drummer almost breaks free, but he gets to good field position for the Mustangs at the Foothill 39. The scoring drive took just 57 seconds on a couple of plays. A 44-yard aerial connection, 5 plays, Sanders to Banks.
Well, you're going to see that happen quite a bit this year if those two stay healthy. Like I said, they're loaded with outstanding receivers, Bankett, Banks, Colvin, and of course Fight.
So quarterback Merced needs to get their offense cranked up. A high strike, but up to get it with an excellent reception in a crowd and with arms fully extended to make that grab. Coming up with it, Jordan Green on an above-average catch. Nicely done.
Well done.
They're just shy of a first down at the Foothill 49. So lots of options here on how to pick it up as they overload the right side. You see 3 wide receivers out there. Long count Merced. Turn and give to his big fullback. Hit and drilled at midfield, but it's good for a first down. Tough, hard inside running, thankless running between the tackles for B.J. Abruzzese.
Well, B.J. runs hard, and his yards, I like his yards after contact.
Fresh set of downs. Now the Mustangs overload the left side. 17 yards now on 6 carries for Abruzzese. Wouldn't be surprised if Foothill wants to try a deep ball of their own. Merced goes to the right side short. Nice hook up on a comeback route and dropped after struggling for some extra yardage. Isaiah Churchill.
Well, see, that's the type of pass that they've got to go, Will. Enough, just short of a down. Watch this, how quickly that Merced gets rid of the ball. Under 2 seconds, you throw that quick comeback pass like that, that's all it takes. He doesn't have to throw the deep ball.
Well, Raymond Fight had the stop, leaving them a wee bit shy. Let's see what they do on second and less than a yard. Merced, quick shot left side. He's got a hook up there. It's going to be just enough for a first down on the connection with Jordan Green. So they're chipping away, nickel and diming. And
let's take a look at this. He runs a quick stop route right to Green, picks up enough to move the chains. That's all you got to do. And that way he doesn't get hurt by that big rush of that front 4 of Turner, Colvin, Allen, and Trujillo.
Now 3 for 6 through the air for Merced, 22 yards. And he's starting to get relaxed and into the flow.
Well, they've opened it up and they've taken that lead blocker out of the backfield.
Nothing doing this time. Gang tackle at the 40 and a shove back even further. And I'll tell you, there was Amos Taylor got greeted on that play.
Nowhere to go. You know, it's amazing. In the very start of this game, they moved Antonio Opresa. As you see that play, nowhere to go. Great push by the D-line up front of Cordova, Allen, Turner, Trujillo. And now they've taken the big fella, number 71, Opresa, out of the backfield, who was their lead blocker before.
A rollout this time for Merced over the middle. A bullet grabbed. Nice reception there.
Oh,
Churchill takes it and turns upfield to make the Cordova 24-yard line.
I like that play by Churchill, receiver, and I like the way Merced threw the ball on the run.
Nice low strike. Difficult to intercept that type. So Foothill sustaining and moving forward. They've had 3 first downs in this drive, and we got a timeout on the field.
Quarter.
Yes, thank you very much, folks. It's the end of the quarter, and an exciting start to this game thus far, but mostly gives me a chance to say that Access Sacramento's Game of the Week would like to thank Round Table Pizza on Folsom Boulevard at Coloma for providing today's TV crew meal. Access Sacramento is a local non-profit foundation, and we appreciate all of our underwriters for making these Game of the Week broadcasts possible. Thank you to Round Table Pizza here in Rancho Cordova for its support of Access Sacramento's Game of the Week. Let's turn our attention to Rick Stewart.
Alrighty, I'm here with Tom Pena, athletic director. We know about the arts building up front, but you've also got a new building here that's going under construction, the field house. Tell me more about that and when it's due to be finished.
Well, we're hoping that'll be done before the end of the calendar year, but if not, hopefully, certainly by January is what I'm hearing. It includes an auxiliary gym where we can host basketball games, especially during tournament time. Our wrestling team can use it as well as overflow for tournaments. It has 2 locker rooms, one for the boys, one for the girls, and so it's really close to the field for our our visitors and our home team to get onto the field and off quickly.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for spending a minute with me, Tom. Appreciate you having us out here tonight.
Thank you and welcome.
All right, thanks, Tom. Guys, back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Stewart. A first down hookup to Jordan Reed advances the football to the Cordova 22. And they sustain their drive again with short yardage plays designed to chip away. Now they move Abercrombie in the backfield, shift him to the left at quarterback Merced, who wants to throw to the end zone. A pass interference flag on tight coverage. So Churchill, the intended receiver, a little bit early on the contact from behind, as you see Hal Steinbach with the call coming up.
Well, that's going to put the Lancers half the distance to the goal line, Will, and they're going to march it off right now.
That was pass interference on our Lancers, I believe.
Pass interference against the defense. First down. First down.
Another look at the coverage in the secondary that drew the flag.
It's Merced going right down the middle with a well-thrown pass.
And there you see it in slow-mo. Nice replay, guys. So here we are with a first down. Quick hitch left side, short yardage, but another completion for Merced, who's starting to compile some stats in the passing department.
Yeah, he hit Amos Taylor there for a quick, about only 3 yards. I thought he had maybe a little more than that, but that's all they gave him, about 2.5, 3 yards, Will.
Okay. Second, and they can almost get to the end zone while picking up a first down. So Merced turns and gives. The big fullback angles left and gets dropped on a gang tackle scenario.
Well, they gave him a pretty good spot there, Will. It looks like they're short about 3 yards.
Third down and 4. So they're going to place the football at the Cordova 5 and just outside the 5, so 5 yards plus a foot. And we'll see how the Mustangs do here on 3rd and goal. They need this one badly. Merced, turn, fake to the power back, throw for the end zone, way up, extending for the grab, but out the back of the end zone. Churchill made a fantastic effort, but the high throw took him beyond the back line. 4th and 4.
I'm just very surprised he went deep on that play. He has 2 downs to make 4 yards. That's very surprising. He's 6 for 10 for 43 yards.
Timeout on the field. We'll step back for a mere moment. Stick around. Mustangs threatening.
Gaining weight was easy. All I had to do was sit down and eat. Losing weight's a lot harder. I have to work at it every day. But with every step, I lower my risk for type 2 diabetes and heart disease. And that makes every step, every choice, every day very much worth the effort.
Learn how you can help stop diabetes by losing weight, eating healthy, and staying active. Visit checkupamerica.org or call 1-800-DIABETES.
After a timeout, the Mustangs back on the field. A crucial 4th and 4. Merced wants to throw, then runs it and gets dropped short. That one, well, it didn't work.
Well,
the ball goes over.
It's a rally buster. I think that Coach and the Foothill Mustangs would like to have that 3rd down over again. Like I say, it's easy from here, but you got 2 downs to make 3.5, 4 yards. And the way Abruzzi's been running, he's been averaging 3 or 4 yards a clip.
Well, the football parked at the Cordova 6-yard line in the danger zone. They're going to have to take care of the football here, and the Mustangs could try to make something happen defensively. A straight-ahead blast to try to wedge out for some running room to get the Lancers a little bit of a cushion there.
Del Rio, Liz, Del Rio, let's go.
You see the Lancers no-huddle offense now in shape, and he got a little breathing room there, Will. Picked up about 4 yards.
2nd
on
and 6
play.
from the 10.
Well, he's got Allen in the backfield.
Sanders keeps, darts through a hole, cuts it back. Woo-wee. Plenty and a whole lot more for Cordova 1st down, and he is a serious run threat.
Well, I think we know why Jonell Sanders is the quarterback. As mentioned, Will, he is truly a triple threat.
Well, he certainly is. A gain of 15. Again, quick play calling, no huddle, as Sanders is having a superlative season. Low snap, he's down to get it. Quick hitch, left side, off target and incomplete. He had Banks and Fight out there, but off target with the throw.
Well, they're going to run that pick play here to that trip set. You've got Colvin out here with Banks and Fight, and they could run that pick set here and turn one of those receivers loose.
Motion shown. They turn and give and sweep right. It's pretty well strung out. Well, Fight with the carry. He pushes out for about 4, but it brings up a key 3rd and 6 from the 29 of Cordova. Sanders to throw, steps up, and he's going to run it. Zigzag move, has 1st down yardage and about 9 to spare.
Well, he picks up.
He throws that linebacker. So again, Sanders, a spontaneous move. And
yeah. Well, have a look at this. Back to pass. They haven't stopped him down. He's picked up in the last 2 out of 3 downs, he's picked up 26 yards, Will. He's very elusive, very dangerous.
From the Cordova 44, Sanders trying to get out of trouble and cannot as he's sacked at the 40. Nice 2-man effort there by the Mustang defense, and we'll have to credit Stepaniak, 55, and the man we spoke of earlier, TJ Pesafia, 54. Let's take a look.
Let's look at this. Sanders trying to break loose, flushes the pocket, nowhere to go. And there you see both Pesafia and Sopranik getting him. He is 5 for 50, Will.
5 for 50 is a nice, tidy number. Wants to throw, short drop, fires left and has a hookup and doesn't get the 1st down, but he's got a nice little bite there on that connection to J.J. Bankett. At the Cordova 49, a gain of 9.
Watch it quick. Watch Sanders get the ball out early, quickly to Bankett. Bankett picks up a few.
7-minute mark, still early 2nd, clock rolling. Cordova up 21 zip. Sanders steps through the pass rush, throws on the run, has a hookup. Oh my goodness, big time Banks. Plenty for the 1st down. And the carry goes to the 38-yard line of Foothill. And this is a beautiful job by both people here.
Watch Sanders, elusive, dumps the ball off to Banks. Banks picks up another 5-6 after the catch. Look at the moves on him.
From the Mustang 39, 1st down. Sanders backs up, keeps it, dashes to daylight and gets tagged pretty hard by Churchill, but he makes the Mustang 35 for a gain of 4 or 5 there, about a 5-yard run.
He was brought down by number 2 again, Isaiah Churchill for the Mustangs.
Well, Banks with another 5 and coming into this game with 198 yards rushing.
Sanders has his club on the move again. Quick throw. He's got Banks on a quickie. Left side, turn the corner. Goodbye, baby. Touchdown, Lancers. From 35 yards out. Oh, my goodness.
Touchdown, Lancers, but we had him flagged.
Well, Banks came into the game averaging 2 touchdowns per game with a total of 8. Man, he's already there here. As the score extends again, Banks 4 grabs for 99, a couple of scores, but what are they doing here on this penalty? No touchdown, evidently. Didn't see the flag. So Hal Steinbach says you can't do that. The only thing is we don't know what it is. So the football moved back to the 40-yard line. Foothill 40. 2nd and 11 on an undisclosed penalty. Turn and give. Nice blasting power there. Impressive as the run goes to the 35. And Bright has his first carry. You know, he's got some impressive stats both offensively and defensively as a part-time player.
Well, he does. And looked very good on this, a senior. Big back, 5'11", 212. He looked tough carrying the ball.
3rd and 6. Sanders has all day. Now he's going to run it, cuts it, runs it. Wow, close to a first down as he's finally dropped at about the 28-yard line. Let's see where the spot is. Okay, spin the replay dial. Let's have some ID.
All right.
Give credit to number 70, Serge Clausen, with a nice block on that play.
Okay.
As well as number 3.
Yes.
Great camera. Great job. Great coverage. Colvin.
Jordan Colvin, number 3, with that high hit and another penalty to wipe out the Sanders run. So some impressive offense by the Lancers and 2 big penalties to wipe out good gains.
Well, it's great camera work on that previous play on that penalty, really nullifying that touchdown.
10-yard penalty. 3rd and 15. Full house backfield this time. Draw play, All right, Rick Stewart has something for us.
All right, the official call on the sideline was helmet-to-helmet hit. Now, from here, we were right in front of it. It looked like it was just kind of slipped off. You know, it was a real quick play, so you couldn't really tell that it was helmet-to-helmet. None of the coaches here, coaching staff here on Rancho Cordova's side, thought it was a quality call, but, you know, that's the moment of the game that they make that call. That's what they called, helmet-to-helmet for that penalty.
Okay, we knew Hal Steinbeck and staff would call this game the way it ought to be, and that's the deal there. So 4th down, but whistles are going to prevent this punt. So the game unraveling here in the last 2 minutes with a couple of penalties, and this timeout will allow us to take a timeout. Don't wander off, lots more to come tonight. Access Sacramento's hometown sports game of the week.
To hear a story.
Once upon a time, there were 3 billy goats.
The tiniest billy goat grunt.
The biggest billy goat grunt. Roared the troll. It's all ugly troll. Eyes as big as saucers.
And the billy goat was so heavy that the bridge
up was a bridge they have to cross. And under. Why, thank you.
Okay, Cordova ready to punt after getting whacked with a couple penalties, but it looks like a possible fake. No, a boot on the run, a towering punt to the 10-yard line, and great downfield coverage, but spinning away. Churchill trying to make something out of nothing, dropped shy of the 20. Total offense, that was a 35-yard boot with good hang time. In the total offense department, it definitely reflects the margin of lead right now. Cordova, 175 yards on 23 offensive plays, while Foothill has managed just 56 on nearly the same number, 21 plays.
Well, Foothill's had their problem scoring in their league preseason. Well, let's see if they can put together a drive with 4:16 on the clock here.
1st and 10 from the Mustang 19-yard line. They've got their work cut out. Merced looks left all the way. Quick shot on a slant. And another completion. Drummer with the grab. And they're out. They're shy of a first down. They'll need 2nd and 2 here to pick that up. At the 27-yard line, clock still rolling with 3:45 left here in the first half. This is an important sequence for Foothill to get something on the board before the intermission. Long count. Look left and fire left. And a breakup on a flying deflection. Boy, that was well timed.
It was that corner
on that throw that was intended for Amos Taylor.
Well, that number 10 closed. It looked like Yusef Pugh really closed fast on that.
So now Merced, 7 for 12 through the air. Good for 51 yards as we get another excellent statistical update from our executive statistician, Gary Martin. Clock stopping at the 3:29. Incomplete. 3rd now and 2. Double wide left and right. Good time, but now Merced has to scramble it. He's grabbed and lurches forward trying to make the 30, and he does. By a yard to spare.
That's a great effort by Carlos Merced. Great effort. Watch this again if you take a look at it. He had to flush the pocket under heavy duress. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of effort in this run. Watch this. He drags him along for another, 3-4 yards and to move the chains.
Motion down the line shown by Taylor. A throw to the left side, another completion, and it opens up for a big gain on the run. And finally, Banks puts an end to it with a shove out of bounds on the excellent Travion Drummer.
Travion Drummer showing speed after the catch. Coming into this game with 3 catches, 51 yards. He picked up a good gainer on that, Will. Showed a lot of speed. That's the type of plays that give Carlos Merced a chance for, a much better completion record. 35 pass play, 35-yarder for Carlos Merced.
Fighting the clock are the Mustangs at the 3-minute mark, late second quarter, trying to get on the board and chip into that 21-point deficit. Quick throw, left side, Churchill's got it, steps through traffic, makes a cut, shows some speed, and carries beautifully deep into Cordova territory.
Well, what I like, if we can see that again, we're seeing some great blocking by the other wide receiver. Watch this block. If you can see it on the far side, he gets a lot of help here from the wide receiver taking out a corner.
Gain of 20 on the play after the gain of 35. 3 consecutive first downs rattled off, and Merced starting to get into a real nice rhythm here for the Mustangs. Red zone territory. Movement along the line, and a flag flies. So a jump from the Cordova defensive line. Don't know if he was drawn, but that's what I did see.
Encroachment on a defense.
-5, so make it 1st and 5 upcoming as Cordova helps the Mustangs there.
Well, if Foothill can cash in here, Will, they're back in the game. This is a vital score for them to go in mentally feeling better about themselves prior to the half, Will. It's important that they score here.
Well, let's see what the call is from head coach Anthony Eustace and his staff. Drummer dispatched wide to the left, double wideouts to the near side. He looks left all the way. Merced's going to run it now. He's trapped, grabbed, and dropped as a flag flies.
Well, he's got to protect that football the way he's carrying it. He's open to fumble.
Preliminary indication of holding. And those can oftentimes be drive busters.
Yes, they can. But it'll be first down again, except for more yardage.
And it appears that will be holding against the Mustangs.
Want to remind you that at the intermission, our Rick Stewart will be visiting with both head coaches, Foothill's Anthony Eustace.
Holding. Number 77, White.
Ooh,
first down.
Player identification. Don't hear that often.
No, we don't.
He's used to calling college games, huh?
That was an NFL call.
Wow, 3rd and 17 after the big hold. Merced to throw, rushed, steps through it, and spins away from 2 more defenders. What an effort. What an effort by Carlos Merced. Twice now on this drive, he has shown exceptional determination and durability.
Well, that puts him back in position. Watch this again on the first down and long yardage. Watch Carlos flush the pocket. Watch him break a tackle here. There you go. Great effort. Hold on to the football and takes it about down to the 10-yard line. Now they have 2nd and about 7.
Gain of 11 on the play. Still time for them to maneuver with 1:43 to go in the half. Abrasizi's got the pill, and he's hitting the backfield, spun around and shoved back near the 15-yard line. Defense was ready for that one.
Well, the front four had great penetration in there. Trujillo, Allen, Turner were in the backfield. And, I mean, they pushed that offensive line of Foothill right back.
No gain on the play. That will bring up 3rd and 8 for the Mustangs.
3rd and 8. 8 carries for 17 yards for the big guy from Foothill. Quick throw, left corner, got a man open. No good, incomplete on the effort by Amos Taylor. And how about that? So close, yet so far another look. Another look. Drummer, the intended receiver, let me correct myself, not Taylor, juggled it, had it for a moment, couldn't squeeze it. 4th down upcoming. Churchill to the left, he's going for him, another lob.
Did he get it that time?
Touchdown Mustangs! A leaping reception, and Foothill is on the board. Churchill, excellent effort on that.
Well, I'm impressed with how high Churchill jumps and Drummer jumps. Both of them really get up there. They went to the same play, this time to to Churchill.
So Gutierrez on for the PAT, out of the hold of quarterback Carlos Merced, and they need this one. They fake it, and it goes to Gutierrez. Can he turn the corner? I don't know, and he gets in. The linesman, the line judge, Jeff Jackson, gave him the call, and so Gutierrez, who would have thunk it, runs for 2, and it makes it 21-8, and an entirely different ball game now. We've seen a number of fakes tonight. Let's see.
All right, watch this.
Let's see how close.
Well, here's a pass. Watch Churchill get up. No, number 2. Churchill get up there, yes. And here goes Gutierrez for the extra point. Watch him dive at the flag.
Well, he did stick the ball in the end zone, but totally out of bounds. What a gutty effort by the little kicker. So the Mustangs, desperately needing a score to boost morale and tighten this game up, have done so on a gritty drive engineered by quarterback Carlos Merced. 4 minutes, 29 seconds. They travel 81 yards in 9 plays and cash in with the 13-yard scoring connection from Merced to Churchill.
Well, as you mentioned, Will, Merced showing confidence here in the second part of the second quarter here in running this offense. Ability to flush the pocket and move the chains.
A booming kickoff that's going to carry all the way back to the goal line, and they're going to come out with it. Gutty run back, fight, turns the corner, and jukes a man and goes the other way. Electrifying run, Raymond Fight, cut back at midfield, dropped, hurtling to the 43. Wow.
Well, yeah, we saw it the first time.
A 42-yard return.
Have a look at this. Great coverage here. Watch Gutierrez out of bounds before he penetrates the flag.
Great replay. There's the truth. Conclusive and wonderful job by this Game of the Week production staff. That's one of the best.
Great camera work. Unfortunately, the officials don't have our replay.
Or you could say unfortunate that they didn't see that in live action. Meantime, Sanders turn and give. Up the gut. A quick opener and a burst for 11. Nicely done. And I'll tell you, finally getting his first good gain of the season after having been just installed. Chase Allen with the carry. And a stoppage of play here with 18 seconds to go. The Raymond Fight kickoff return has sparked this field position here. And a timeout taken by Cordova. They want to talk it over with 18 seconds left. They'll be operating from the Foothill 46. Okay, let's see Raymond Fight here against all odds.
First of all, he stepped in the end zone. And now you see, come on down. He picks up a ball almost in midfield. And to me, when he rocked back, a great camera work. Here's a game-saving tackle coming up right now. Bamo in the open field.
I'd like to see that one more time because that juke step to the left sideline before he reversed had 5 Foothill defenders completely jocked. Check it out. Here he comes. He's going to run out of room here. Right there, 5 defenders just got juked. Beautiful job, Raymond Fight, 42 yards on the run back. And now Foothill has to hold on for 18 seconds because Sanders is ever dangerous with this tremendous receiving core. And also on that replay showed Banks with a great downfield block at the 20-yard line. Here we go, 18 seconds. Fake it, Sanders keeps, throws left. Banks on the run, across the grain, turn on the speed, work for the sideline, turn it up, and get cracked hard. And a penalty marker comes out, and we'll wonder about that. I wonder if that was helmet to helmet. Banks gets up. You can see he's excited about another great play.
Well, he plays with passion. They've got a lot of good athletes on this Cordova squad, but let me tell you, Take It to the Banks is one of the top athletes that I have seen this year thus far.
You betcha. Hal Steinbach.
Personal foul against the white.
So it's a personal foul of some kind. 29 yards on the catch and run. And another look. Maybe we can catch it.
Well, he runs that quick bubble pass to Banks, and Banks is trying to take it all the way.
Well, was that Churchill or Drummer?
Looked like Drummer.
Well, it was a real shot, but the football's at the 9-yard line, 1st and goal. Penalty marker comes out, incomplete throw to the left side.
We got a flag there, Will.
4.2 seconds remaining on the clock, and we'll try to sort out the penalty. But the flag came out quick, and here's referee Steinbach's indication on that.
Red ball. Okay.
Okay, the Lancers clipped here with a motion penalty, legal procedure.
Okay, right now, I don't think that Coach Neal wants a field goal. I think he wants to get the ball in the hands of Banks.
Well, that's a good place to have it. So we got a timeout on the field with 4.2, and Coach Neal, as you mentioned, exercising options. Let's see what he decides on.
Well,
keep it right here. There you see Coach Anthony Eustace getting clarification from referee Steinbach. But credit his offensive unit for getting up off the deck with that impressive drive, a bite at a time, and then the acrobatic catch in the end zone to get the actual touchdown. So the Lancers, you see there, their offensive squad huddled up, sideline decision on what they're going to try for with 4.2. I got to guess they'll throw for the end zone.
Well, I would say so. They've got Banks isolated here, and they'll probably run a pick play for him, try to isolate Banks. He's got one-on-one coverage here, and I don't know if anybody in the county can hold this kid to one-on-one.
Well, we'll soon see. Banks wide to the left, all alone with apparent single coverage and a safety back there near the goal line. Let's see where he favors.
Well, he's got a lot of man to cover there.
Especially if he goes in and out toward the corner. So Steinbach wants to have a little mini conference here with the Cordova sideline and head coach Darren Nill. I can't read the sign language, but it's got something to do perhaps as they look at the press box here, so maybe a timing issue.
Well, they put 5 more seconds on the clock.
They sure did. It was 4.2 and suddenly it goes to 9, and perhaps some of those Foothill people scratching their heads over that one.
Well, I would say so. They've got to be scratching their heads over that rocker step back on the goal line on receiving the kick, what I call a rocker step back into the end zone.
Automatic touchback, right? Yeah. And before that, we saw the step out of bounds undetected. So it's easy to call them from up here, and especially with our replay crew that has been on the money tonight. Here we go with 9.2. They could get 2 plays out of this. Sanders looks left, steps through traffic, maybe run it. No. And it's going to be bobbled and dropped. Should have been an interception, but gee whiz, Sanders might have run all the way on that one, as I second guess from up here. Incomplete with 1.3 left.
Well, he's bringing them over again, and maybe this time they're going to field goal it.
Banks still deployed to the near side by himself with single coverage out there. And it doesn't look like a kick formation. Sanders comes to the near side, in trouble, and dropped. Excellent effort that time on the D-line, and number 54 is as prominent as we said he was. TJ Pasavea.
Well, Foothill's got to be feeling better about themselves, Will. Definitely.
21-8 is our halftime score. We're going to keep it right here because, as previously mentioned, Rick Stewart will be chatting with our head coaches during the intermission. And we've got lots of other goodies in store for you here tonight on Access Sacramento's hometown sports game of the week. Let's pick up Rick Stewart.
All right, Coach Neal, first half impressions?
I thought our offense came out firing on all cylinders, but I wasn't really happy about the way that half ended right there. I thought we got a little sloppy.
What are you going to do in the second half to try and clean that up?
Well, we're going to go in there and we're going to talk about execution, and it just comes down to fundamentals, blocking, tackling, and execution.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. All right, guys, back up to you.
Thank you, Rick. Certainly A bit disappointed, he said, but I'm sure comforted by a 21-8 lead at the intermission. We're here at Cordova High School this evening for Access Sacramento's hometown sports game of the week. Lots more ahead for you. Stick around. We'll be right back.
My grandfather served in World War II. Spending time with him were the best memories of my life. I became a physician at VA because of my grandfather, so I can help others like him. I can't imagine working with better doctors or a more dedicated staff. I'm fulfilling my life's mission with the help of my team and thanks to these veterans. I'm proud to be a doctor at VA and proud to honor my grandfather every day. Search VA Careers to find out more.
I tell people I have 3 kids, one of them's adopted, I just don't know which one.
I can't imagine having to be in a birth mother's position to make that choice.
You know, I was kind of just asking her, you know, what is your motivation? Why are you doing this? And she looked at me and she said, because you can give my son a life that I could not.
We always tell her thank you. He is such a blessing to us.
Every day is just a ray of sunshine from him. So we're Chanda and Brian, and we chose adoption.
After 15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking, now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? And now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
You can see the score there, 21-8 at halftime. Cordova ahead of the Foothill Mustangs. I've got here with me Dan Anklem, the principal here at Cordova. Dan, what's going on? You got construction all over the place. Now, we talked briefly about the field house. How's that going? I mean, Tom, we didn't have a lot of time to talk with Tom, but tell me about it.
The field house is going great. We have a locker room for home and away. It's got a giant storeroom. Actually, the whole facility is 17,000 square feet. So it's got what they call an auxiliary gym. So we can play full court basketball, one set of bleachers, and it has a really nice classroom, a huge classroom. So we're going to have our fitness classes in there. So things like rowing machines and stationary bikes and that kind of thing in there.
How long has this been in the works to create this and get it going?
It started in 16. We had a little bit of delay last year because of the rain, so they were struggling with that, but it's going well. I'm just glad we got into the field house tonight. So it's almost a little ahead of schedule.
Oh, that's great. Anytime you're ahead of schedule with rain, that's great. How about other things going on campus? Student awards, teacher awards, great things going on at school.
Oh, yeah. We have all kinds of great things going on. Our school is improving in attendance and their test scores, and everything's just looking up. It's been a very, very good start of the year, and the most exciting part is our enrollment's up. We got about another 110 kids this year, so people are coming to Cordova, and I hope it's because of our International Baccalaureate program.
Well, I'm sure it is. Now, back a few years, back in the day, the enrollment here was top-notch, and it has drawn down a little bit because of the bases closing was one of the main key points, but there's an influx of people coming in, and how much is that really helping? I mean, Cordova's itself has been incorporated.
Oh, it's helping so much. You're correct. When the base closed, we had a lot of people stay. I mean, Rancho Cordova's a nice community, so people don't move out, so we didn't have a lot of houses. But now that they're building south of 50 and they're putting in like a nice shopping area, and people are attracted to all the Fortune 500 companies that are south of Highway 50, the Cordova city is just booming. It's exciting.
Well, and they're willing to work with you, and we've talked with Coach Neal about the new helmets and the safety and grant that got that. I mean, the community is really willing to help.
Oh, by all means. This building that we just have is a $13 million facility funded through a measure called Measure P. And it's just the generous taxpayers of Rancho Cordova. They're amazing. Every time we float a bond, they okay it.
Well, it's all about education.
Yes, and they love their school. There's a lot of community members that just stay here. They haven't left.
Well, that's awesome, especially staying. Dan Anklin, principal here at Cordova High. 21-8 is the score. Cordova in the lead. We'll be right back after this break.
Every year, tens of thousands of young people experience homelessness. If you or someone you know needs help, 1-800-RUNAWAY can provide support and connect you to the right resources. Together, we can end youth homelessness.
All right, 21-8, the score here. Cordova in the lead. I'm here with Mark Grimsko, the voice of the Lancers. Now, you've been doing this a long time, and you're in high demand.
I've been doing it since 2011. Back in 2011, we had a really good basketball team. And our old basketball coach, Bob Jones, I think he was trying to create some atmosphere in our gym. So he asked me to do ball games. And I guess I really got into it. I enjoyed it. I like glorifying the feats of our young Cordova heroes. And so that was fun. And the following spring, our old coach, Guy Anderson, he asked me to come out and do his baseball games. And so then, of course, the softball girls would watch the boys playing, and they wanted me to do their games. And next thing you know, I'm doing baseball games, softball games, soccer games, volleyball matches, you name it.
The proverbial snowball rolling downhill.
Exactly.
Now, you're also the coach of golf here, boys and girls golf team. I mean, how's that going? How'd you get into that?
Yeah, last year I started coaching the girls and boys golf teams, and that's fun because I'm a golfer. And I must say, after a day of teaching and then coaching golf afterwards, it makes the day go by faster. It really does.
Mark, thank you so much for stopping by here. I wish we had more time to talk about just so much of the history here that you've seen, but thanks for spending a moment or two with us.
Well, thank you.
All right, thanks, Mark. All right, 21-8 is the halftime score. Foothill trailing Cordova. We'll be right back.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Halftime score 21-8. We're looking for the Foothill coach. We've got a couple quick highlights of some things that involve Cordova. First off, we've got Coach Darren Nill talking about some of the equipment they use, but also we talked with him about some of the technology that they're using with the helmets. We've got some video here. Let's take a look at those.
Never even been worn last year because we didn't have an October home game that was, so we're pulling these out this year.
Brand new?
Well, they were brand new last year, but they've never been worn. So.
And those are dangerous?
Yeah.
Breast cancer.
So we're going to go with the black helmets and the flat black
That's
pants.
very striking.
Oh. And I have half the team that
Let me
can't.
see the back.
I have half the team that can't wait to wear them, and I have the other half the team that didn't want to wear them. But you know,
pink.
yeah. But you know, they're going to have to get over
It's
it,
coming salmon.
right?
And when they make it to the big leagues, it's all going to be
The white and red. and then we switched to the alternative black last year. So we wore, in 10 games, we wore 6 different combos last year.
Listen to me. Isn't that something?
Well, we're trying to make it cool to be a Lance football player again, and we can't do that if we're,
No, you're doing all the right things, Coach.
You're throwing that lure out there, and I take those black helmets over to the middle school, and they just, it's like
another world.
Moths to a light. That the 8th graders are trying it on, and I want to play for the Lancers, and yada yada yada. So,
storied Cordova High School football field with Coach Darren Nill of the Lancers, head football coach, and we're going to talk about safety issues for a moment with respect to the players, not necessarily the coaches, but the players. Coach, you have an interesting helmet there. Tell me a little bit about that.
Hi, Rick. Yeah, and thanks for coming out. So these are our new Rydell helmets. They're called Speed Flex, which is their top of the line. And other than really looking nice, which is what the players like, the players also think it feels good. It's a lighter weight helmet, so it doesn't feel like a bowling ball on the top of your head. But the real neat technology is a membrane that fits inside. You can't see it because it's between the black cushion and the hard plastic. But there's a membrane in there that runs the course of the helmet, and it measures G-force impacts. And once we get an impact that measures over a certain percentage per position, which is set at a level of 1% of all the highest impacts, then there's an alert that goes off. And this monitor is worn by the trainer and the coaching staff, and it just vibrates, and it lets the coaches know what player. It'll give his number, and we'll call the player over and give him the concussion protocol, check him out, make sure he's physically good to go.
21-8 score at halftime. Coach Eustace, what did you say to your team in half?
I think we're doing a great job. We just need to settle down a little bit. We're taking control on defense, and offense we'll get in our groove and we'll get down the field.
All right, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thanks.
All right, guys. Send her back upstairs to you, Will and Jim.
Okay, Mr. Stewart, thank you very much. A confident Anthony Eustace, looking cool, calm, collected, and ever optimistic. I would have liked to have been in that locker room to hear what he had to say. So we got another entire half, Coach Domino, and we've got some numbers to crunch that were compiled by our executive statistician, Mr. Gary Martin, and there you have them.
Well, let's look at those stats here. They're very apparent. Rushing yards, obviously, you got the Lancers with 104 yards and not much for Foothill. Passing yards, 110. 39 for the Mustangs, by the way, via the run. Passing yards are very close. Total offense, 211, 158. First downs, 11-9. That's amazing because you'd think with 21 points that Cordova would have certainly more than that. Penalties, the Lancers unfortunately hit for 5 for 46 and 325 for the Foothill. Turnovers, none. That's amazing that we haven't had a turnover in the first half. We haven't had too many ball games like that. Time of possession, despite being down 21-8, Foothill with 15-9 out of 24 minutes, Will. Does that surprise you, or does the quick striking ability of Cordova make up the difference?
That's entirely logical as far as Cordova's offense is concerned. And we don't want to shortchange Foothill on that top statistic to the left. It was 15 carries for 29. So meager, or 39 I should say, meager running offense, but quarterback Merced got it going in that second quarter.
Well, he did. He showed me something. He had a rough first quarter, but there at crunch time in that last drive, Will, he did show me something. As you see, the Foothill coaches getting together. There's Merced right in the middle of things, and looks to me like he's into the game now.
He most certainly does, and you see him clutching a football there, and it will be Foothill that'll take first possession to start the second half, and an excellent opportunity for Mustangs head coach Anthony Eustace and his ball club to get back into this game. Well, the officials holding the pill right now. reluctant to give it up, but it will indeed be the Cordova Lancers booting it away to open the second half of play.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second half play.
Bright to do the booting, and it's a bounder toward the left sideline that trickles out of bounds. I'm not quite sure what they were going for there, but that's probably not the way they figured that would turn out.
No, I'm with you, Will, on that because, quite frankly, they've held Drummer. Drummer's returned, 3 kickoffs and really didn't amount to too much. And now they give them the ball in great field position on a 35.
Yes. Interesting, mysterious, and at this point, unanswered. But again, as you say, excellent field position for the Mustangs at their 35.
Well, let's see now if Foothill can put together a drive again as they did before the half.
Merced going to run the show. They try for a reverse, a loose football, and a scramble. The Lancers think they have it. They try for the razzle-dazzle on first down, and it backfires. Wow, a bad exchange. It went first to B.J. Ambrosisi, and then the secondary exchange is where they lost it. First turnover of the game.
Well, have a look at this. They give to Ambrosi, try to reverse it back to number 6, and Amos Taylor, and they're fumble the football.
From the 28, big opportunity, but not on that play as Sanders hands off to a doomed man. There was no hole there, just 3 Foothill defenders led by the big fullback B.J. Ambrosisi, doing a whale of a job on defense.
Well, also give credit to Malik Richards, that defensive end, for assisting on that tackle. They were both right there.
A loss of 2, second and 12 from the 30. A keeper up the middle. Sanders juked everybody, and he makes the 25. Gain of 5.
Well, this is going to be a real test on that Folsom D here right now. Let's see if the Fasafia brothers can come up with something big here, along with Uprasesa and Richards, that front 4. Well,
I don't know what Hal Steinbach is asking about concerning the Cordova Lancers, but Sanders now comes to the sideline, and we need an explanation. He's going to come out of the game, and taking his place in the lineup, Clifford Bright, 24. So what is up?
Well, Allen comes off.
Sanders remains. Triple wide receivers to the near side. Draw play, up the gut, untouched, barreling to the 10 and inside the 10. Well, Bright has been a bright spot, and his stats in certain departments are most impressive.
Well, he's a big back. 5'11", 212. He looks every bit of that, Will, coming up the middle.
Hurry up offense, no huddle. That was just Bright's 5th carry of the season. On defense, he's got some excellent stats, though. Quick hit on a slant, complete and inside the 5-yard line. Sanders hooks up with Fight, who's dropped immediately by Jordan Green, but not quick enough to prevent that catch.
Well, let's go. Sanders here, triple threat Sanders, with great receivers in Fight, Bankett, and Banks, along with Colvin.
About the 3-yard line.
Football parked at the 3. Here they go from deep red zone territory. Sanders keeps and skates in untouched as the entire Foothill defense went with the fake. A 3-yard run for John L. Sanders, and the Lancers are on the board again as they take advantage of the turnover. 27-8 now. The TD comes at the 9:56 mark, early third. That is quite a chore there, as we see the Cordova rally flag down the track and on for an apparent PAT. Out of the hold of fight, and Banks hits it on the nose, but off target. So the score remains 27-8, and there's a look at the skate by Sanders. We'll be right back.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Well, the Cordova Lancers set to kick off after a scoring drive of 28 yards on 5 plays following the fumble recovery. A bounding kickoff, bobbled and picked up at the 15-yard line. Drummer outside, turns the corner and delivers a blow that could be perceived as hostile intention. Yes, probably some frustration and short fuses among the Foothill Mustangs, and they can better put that energy into another scoring drive like the one that Merced engineered when they got on the board. So they'll open shop at the 45. After having given up another score. So it's 27-8, Cordova in command. Double wide left and right. Merced rushed, throws deep sideline route. A leaping grab. Is he inbounds? No, but Drummer really showing his athleticism, made the catch above Banks on that. Okay, a reception. I guess I'm the only one confused. It looked like he waved that off. The carry is to the 31, or the reception to the 31-yard line. First down, Mustangs, another look.
Let's have a look downfield as you see Drummer go up and stay in bounds and get knocked out of bounds. Excellent catch. Drummer can get up there as well as Amos Taylor. All these receivers, Churchill can get up there as well. All they got to do is get him the ball.
From the 31-yard line, the Mustangs deploy 3 wide receivers to the near side. Time getting tight, long count. Gets it off. Merced throws out to the right side, and he's got a hook up that could be first down yardage. Churchill with the grab.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm amazed, not amazed, but impressed with the jumping ability of Churchill and Drummer and Taylor.
Well, Coach Eustace raved about that quartet, and I think his concern was getting them the ball. Here's another look.
Oh, yeah. Well, now see, he's getting the ball out in 2 seconds or less. He doesn't need a lot of protection if you're throwing that ball under 2.
Gain of 11, first and 10 from the 20. Mustangs on the move. Oh, my goodness. Well, Churchill and Merced were not on the same page, and it's going to cost the Mustangs 5. And again, Merced really coming alive in the passing department. 12 for 18 for 154. That's his best performance of the season thus far.
From the 25-yard line.
So first and 15 from the Cordova 25 after the motion penalty. Still early here in the third quarter with 9 minutes to go. Triple wide left. Passing formation again with the 4 wideouts. Look left and fire out there. Quick hits the Drummer against the grain cut in a pile and falls forward to about the 17-yard line. So they're really having success with that quick hit.
Well, that's what they've got to do and continue to do, where he can get the ball out early and put the ball in the hands of the playmakers. And those playmakers, they do have Drummer, Green, Taylor, Churchill. Get the ball in their hands.
Gain of 5. 2nd and 10. Merced calling out a switch possibly to his wide receivers. A lot of movement there to the deep corner, well overthrown. A grab there by Drummer. Was he in? Touchdown, Mustangs.
Well, the side judge had to have a lot of help from the back judge.
That was a remarkable play. Merced looks like he's been doing that all year. Drummer, a big target, as is Churchill. Their passing attack is coming on strong.
They are very impressive. All they got to do is get the ball up. If they get the ball up, Churchill, Drummer, Green, and Taylor go tough for the ball, and they jump. I wonder how many of them are basketball players, because I'm going to tell you what, they get up.
They do indeed. Gutierrez on for the PAT, trying to dig a little deeper and add a 15th point. High snap, spotted. Wow, how did he get that kick away? It is good, but a flag down at the 10. That was a mistimed snap. I don't know what they're going to call on this one, but Hal Steinbach does.
Okay, legal procedure, okay? On the white, okay?
Okay.
We try.
Okay. All right, it's okay with me. Okay.
It's all right with me, too.
Okay, so.
Not all right for Foothill.
A snafu on the special teams PAT try. Anthony Eustace happy about the TD, not entirely content with that special teams play. Gutierrez tried again. The ball will be spotted at the 15. High snap. Wow, heavy pass rush, and got it, if those officials are in agreement. So, despite the penalty, Gutierrez tacks on the PAT, and it's now 27.
Backfield against the white.
Wow.
Retry.
They're seeing more than I am out here. Oh, I see it now. There it is, lying at the 12-yard line. Pick it up. What do you say, Coach? Where's Anthony Eustace?
Wow.
All right, third try now, right?
Can we get a mechanic on what happened there?
It's a secret. So Gutierrez now will try with the ball spotted at the 19-yard line. Maybe, well, we'll call it the 20 and a 30-yard extra point. And it's got plenty with a strong leg and got it. Well, the third time is the charm. And the Mustangs fight back with another drive and another score, and they do it through the air on a beautiful throw here. How about that? We'll be right back.
Hey Gabby, how you doing? How was the play date and sleepover?
Dad, it was great.
Awesome. Okay, I'm on my way. Hey guys, what are you doing?
We're not swimming.
Hey Gabby, how you doing?
Well, an interesting and unpredictable football game tonight on Access Sacramento's hometown sports game of the week. After host Cordova bolted out to a 21-0 lead, the Foothill Mustangs have played them better than even after coming back with a couple of touchdowns, and they're now within 27-15, still haven't reached the midway mark of the third quarter, Jim.
Well, I think we're going to see a lot more scoring here.
once again, kicking off for the Mustangs will be number 14.
Okay, ready for the kickoff, Gutierrez. Bounding, grabbed by Fight from the 6 to the outside, gets past the containment man and gets dropped, spinning across the 25.
Well, Foothill showed a lot on that one, and certainly they need it.
19 yards on the return as the teams change units.
Back up, white line, back up.
Once again, Foothill's got to play some defense here. They haven't contained quarterback Sanders all night, as well as going to the bank has made a huge amount of big plays. So let's see if they can put a little heat on Saunders.
Inside running, a bounce outside now. What an effort there amid 5 or 6 tacklers. And, you know, Fight has really impressed me in a number of ways. That was an excellent carry there with no apparent daylight, and he makes the 34-yard line.
Well, he's come in the ball game, Will, with 5 catches, 114, and he's had several. What I like is he's got running ability, as you see on that play right there. He comes into this contest with 110 yards on the ground.
Well, he added 9 more right there, make it 2nd and 1 from the Lancer 34. Triple wide left. He fakes it, keeps it, cuts inside, spins at midfield, weaving his way into Mustang territory at the Foothill 49.
Well, once again, Sanders acts like he has great moves and he does it effortlessly. I mean, he's got to have close to 100 yards rushing tonight.
Gain of 17 on the keeper after the fake. And just like that, Cordova's on the move, working in Foothill territory from the Mustang 49. Triple wide left again. Sanders, the deep bomb, going for Banks, out of bounds, off target on that throw. Single coverage, and Amos Taylor with that coverage.
Well, tonight, Sanders rushing alone has 9 carries, 73 yards. That's a lot of yards, plus his passing yards. Definitely a threat. And 116 yards in the air. So that's quite a night, and the game's far from over.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Working from midfield are the Lancers. Fight with the carry, a quick burst, but shut down rapidly after a gain of 3.
I like the way they run him against the grain, Will. He runs that misdirection play well.
He makes the 46-yard line, so it's going to bring up a 3rd and 7 as the clock rolls with 8:22 to go. Fight 3 carries for 16. Fake it, keep it, and Sanders trying to get outside and cannot. Wrestled down on an aggressive hard tackle in the secondary, registered by Churchill.
Well, Churchill playing that outside backer play showed me a lot of speed. As we look at that, once again, here's Sanders taking it on his own. Watch Churchill not giving up and sending him backward.
From the 44, it's going to bring up a 4th and 5 for the Lancers. And I'm not sure they'll try for the small bite. They might go for it. Whoa, my goodness. Line movement, flag flies. It looked like
dead ball, encroachment on the white.
And it is Foothill.
Yeah. Enough to move the chains, pretty close.
That's got to be a tough one to take for the Foothill coaching staff.
Yeah. Antonio across the line of scrimmage.
Upressa with the move. 1st and 10 from the Foothill 39-yard line. All bets are off. Anything goes from here with a fresh set of downs. Triple wide left. Banks solo to the near side. Sanders fakes and keeps and sprints. Wow, tough to stop inside the 25-yard line. What a burst. About a 14-yard run.
Well, He keeps inching closer to that 100-yard mark, comes into this contest with 198.
11 carries for 89. Another first down at the Mustang 25. Clock rolling at the 5:13. Sanders looks right, fakes right, throws left, deflected, up in the air, nearly grabbed, but an incomplete pass.
Well, they were very fortunate they didn't give up a pick there, Will. Really.
That was number 54.
So, incomplete. 2nd and 10. From the 25. Clock stopping at the 5:06. Flip side at quarter number 3. Sanders gives, and that play is bottled up and shoved back.
Well,
Churchill up from the secondary, assisting 2 other Mustangs, including T.J. Pisapia, 54.
and we look at this again. Watch Churchill come up, make a play again, along with a few other of the Mustangs in there. Mustangs playing inspired defense here, trying to stop this drive.
3rd and 9 from the 24. Sanders keeps outside right, turn the corner, dash for the sideline, and he has first down yardage, it looks like.
Once again, number 1, John L. Sanders with a nice run around the right.
Move the chains, and Sanders with the quick feet. That has to be pleasing up along that Cordova sideline. They got themselves quite a quarterback.
Well, he does, and you know what? You can see why he's their leading ball carrier. He comes into the game with 200, and he's almost just about got 100 here tonight. So here he is with only 3 or 4 games having 300 yards rushing himself.
1st and 10 from the Mustang 12. Cordova on the move. Lots of crazy movement, and the flag flies. As you said, you can see why he's their top ball carrier with the 4-receiver
on the block
formation. They're so worried about the passing game that the middle of the field opens up for him.
Exactly. What they do, if they put their 4 wideouts, they're playing almost 7-on-7 football, Will. Okay?
Okay, 1st and 15 on the penalty. Throw for the end zone on a slant. It's complete. Touchdown, Lancers. Boy, I'll tell you, Banks is a real problem for any opposition. That was another Sanders to Banks, and that combination right there is rapidly gaining a reputation as one of the very best in the section.
Well, it is, and I'll tell you what, rightfully so. You tell me what he can't do. I don't know much that what Alvin Banks can't do. I can tell you he is something else.
Well, the point after touchdown, and here's a look at the scoring play.
There you see Sanders going inside. Banks takes it over, makes it look easy.
We'll be right back. It has become apparent that the adjustments being made in the Foothill secondary are insufficient to slow down this combo, so perhaps we'll see another adjustment.
Well, here's what's happening. When they go to 4 deep, they're playing with 5 defensive backs, which leaves the run open. Well, we've talked about this during the week. So therefore, with 5 DBs, Sanders can run the football all day. And like you say, they've got to cover the 4 wides because they're dangerous. And they're playing one-on-one with the 4 wides out there. And now you got what I call 7-on-7 football. If Sanders breaks a tackle, he's home free.
On the run, here's a kickoff return. Drummer has been prominent tonight, and you can see there he shows speed to the outside and carries beyond midfield. That was an outstanding return, and he had a head of steam up when he took that on the run. There he is there, number 8. And, of course, Travion Drummer, one of the top performers around. The previous scoring drive for Cordova, 75 yards, 10 plays, in 3:35, capped off by the Sanders to Banks 18-yard aerial connection.
Well, let's see now if Foothill can respond to that, Will. Carlos Merced. Looking so much more confident at quarterback now. Let's see where he goes upstairs deep.
Deep on the run. Touchdown is coming up right here.
Well, Churchill again.
That was number 17, Carlos Merced, hooking up with
Coverage. Well, that sounds a lot different now. Another touchdown for Foothill. Say Churchill and Drummer have been dynamite tonight. 48 yards. Merced to Drummer. That comes at the 4:06. Gutierrez on for the PAT. Churchill has been terrific. Wow, look at Gutierrez try to adjust. And it's a low line drive over the crossbar. Did they even see that? Okay, we're going to go to break here, and here's how the Mustangs retaliate after the touchdown they surrendered. Churchill up high, acrobatic reception, and they're on the board again. We'll be right back for more of Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week.
My journey skating for the gold taught me a lot, but my journey with breast cancer has been one of my greatest teachers.
Every woman's breast cancer is unique. Be Wiser educates and empowers women to take control of their breast cancer treatment plan and help navigate their own path. 5 years.
Talk to your doctor about information and tests to personalize a treatment plan that fits your needs. I did. Be informed, be wiser, support survivors like us.
Banks and Fight deep to receive, standing inside the Cordova 5. Gutierrez ready to boot it away. A deep kickoff to the near side, ranging for it, and misplayed by Fight. Picks it up at the 1 yard line and wants to come out with it. And breaks through 3 tacklers to get out beyond the 30, and he's shoved out of bounds near the 40. Wow.
Number 12,
Raymond Fight. The last scoring drive after 34 yards on that return by Fight, but one play was the 45-yard connection. Merced to Churchill, 16 seconds to retaliate. But
led by the great return by Drummer. Drummer set him up with that big return past midfield on the very first play. They go upstairs. Churchill outjumps the defender like they have been doing. Between Drummer and Churchill, and as well as Amos Taylor, they go up. They really do. Get the ball upstairs.
1st and 10, Lancers from their 38-yard line. Less than 4 minutes to go in the half. Big room, Sanders off the right side. He crosses midfield and gets to the Foothill 49, a gain of about 13 right there.
They haven't stopped him all night, Will, and he can run at will. Quite frankly, you know, when a guy has got over 100 yards himself here early in the third quarter, and they haven't found a way to stop him.
No, they haven't, so they call a timeout here at the 3:48 after his 14-yard run gets into Mustang territory. And, you know, we've seen 2 quarterbacks really totally different styles, and they have both come through for their squads tonight.
Well, they certainly have. Give credit to Merced. new at the game, not having played quarterback for, doing a job for the Foothill Mustangs. And then Jonell Sanders more than coming into his own.
Sanders, 13 carries for 114. And going back to your keys to this ball game, Imperator, take it to the banks. You know, that speaks for itself. He has been tremendous tonight. The big play receivers versus that Foothill secondary, nothing more prominent than that in tonight's game. Sanders, 13 carries for 114. And through the air, 7 for 13 for an additional 134. Total offense, Cordova, 328. Foothill, 258. They have come on strong since a dismal first quarter. Sanders to throw, gets hammed in and throws on the run. Up for grabs, deflected away, and I don't think he was across the line of scrimmage. A gutty play. The secondary coverage by Drummer and Amos Taylor for the breakup. 2nd and 10.
Well, I can see why they have 5 DBs in the game and playing a lot of nickel. When you have to really contend with Colvin, Banks, Bankett, and Fight, all dangerous.
Sanders fakes it, keeps it. That's probably his shortest run of the entire, and a flag flies out from 3 different officials, front, side, and back.
Well, there's no reason for Foothill number 55 to dive into the pile, and that's going to be costly.
It is, and there is no reason. And Hal Steinbach.
Dead ball, personal foul, late hit on the white.
Properly called, properly assessed. Let's take another look at that.
Watch the end of the play here. It's well over, and along comes.
Oh, man. On a headshot, too. No, that is closer to a disqualification than a penalty. First down from the Foothill 32. Don't like to see that kind of a play ever. Getting away after apparently stymied. And possible loose football there on a secondary reaction, but that play was stopped cold, and then it opened up again. Boy, some determined running right there. Football inside the 30 at about the 27-yard line, so nearly a 5-yard run. Fight got shaken up on the play, and for a smaller back, he's been durable and tough tonight.
Well, now they're going to have to take a timeout here as you see him lying down. He's banged up.
He wouldn't be that reluctant unless it was something serious. So let's take a look. He got away from Upressa. That's where he got tagged right there, going for the loose football. Well, it can be said that the Foothill Mustangs hit hard and hit for keeps. That has not been a weakness of theirs, except that late hit to the head, and we certainly hope that is not serious for Raymond Fight. Sanders, 14 carries for 115. Fight has added another 17 on 4 carries, and Banks another 30 on 4. So I would say they've got multiple threats as we see Fight come off, and we're happy about that. I hope he can shake off that hard shot.
Well, they do have multiple threats, and like I said, to me, I'm a little surprised with the secondary not being able to handle, and not to take anything away from Drummer and Taylor and Churchill, but to me, if the ball's upstairs, it appears like those receivers of Foothill outjumped the defenders.
And that's primarily what head coach Anthony Eustace felt was an advantage of theirs. Meantime, Sanders wants the pill. Short yardage play is destroyed. Nothing doing on that one, and big time 54 again, getting up off the bottom of the pile.
Pasafia stop Allen right now. Nowhere for Allen to go.
2nd and 6. He lost a yard on that. 3rd and 6, I should say. Over the middle, a slant complete on a pinpoint strike to a secondary receiver, wrestled down at the 15-yard line. And you know, that was excellent awareness by Sanders, as he was able to concentrate and pick up his secondary receiver on the play. And certainly credit to Jordan Colvin.
Well, watch him. There's a fumble and picks up the ball and knows right where to go with the football. Outstanding. Outstanding. He's
1st and 10.
He knew where his people were going to be. His receivers were there.
From the 15-yard line. Sanders wants to throw, now gets away from pressure, and he's going to run it. Open field daylight to the corner. Touchdown, Lancers, untouched from 15. Wow. John L. Sanders.
Well, what you notice on the replay, Will, they did not line up with their wide spread. They lined up tight, which gave a golden opportunity to Sanders to run around it. If you see that play, they were in a tight set, not their familiar 3 wide, 4 wide.
I love that banner. You're absolutely correct as usual, Imperator, and I wish I had that type of observation. On the PAT, throw to the corner, just out of reach. Going for the 2. Well, John L. Sanders has quick feet, and he demonstrates it again. Cordova just will not let up. No containment out there, untouched. We will be right back for more of The Big Show.
Facing life's difficulties takes strength and determination. Whether it's physical challenges or struggles you can't see, it takes strength to ask for help when you need it. Learn how other veterans have reached out and hear their stories of strength and recovery at maketheconnection.net.
Cordova goes 62 yards in 7 plays, covering 2 minutes, 23 seconds. Back on the board again, courtesy of quarterback John L. Sanders. Now 41-22. Lancers in command. Kickoff, another taken on the run. And again, Drummer, same maneuver, same spot on the field. Crosses the 40 and another excellent run back. Well, Sanders really putting on a show. 15 carries for 130 and 8 for 15 through the air for 145. And he's thrown multiple touchdowns. The man's stats will continue to soar.
Well, he had impressive stats coming in, Will. We talked about him during the week, and here he is. We're at the end of the 3rd quarter coming up. He's got 275 yards total offense that he's been directly involved with. That's quite a night.
Oh, boy. And he's had quite a night in all of the Lancers games. So with 1:36 to go in the quarter, good field position again for the Mustangs. Merced, sacked hard, loses the pill. And a recovery by Cordova. How about that?
And he had a fumble recovery. First and 10 Lancers.
Two of them here in the second half, both by Foothill.
I'd like to see if, again, we're not going to, if we can take another look at the fumble. I thought maybe the ground caused the fumble, but let's look at it.
This rush was fast and intense right there. He was on him like a rash.
Oh, good call. Excellent call. Great camera work. Great close-up.
It surely was, and that time the Cordova defense came up big. As a result, with 1:29 to go in the quarter, they've got the pill again, and for Foothill fans, that's not a good sign anytime Sanders can get his hands on the football.
No, it's not.
You can't guard this boy. You can't guard
He
this
wants
boy.
to throw,
Get off
swings
me.
it. Fight got hung out to dry on that lob, and the containment was able to recover on that play and gang tackle him.
Well, the first guy there, Bruce Easy, spotted it and came up real quick like the linebacker, middle backer. We haven't seen much of him carrying the ball since the first quarter, Will, number 34. He's playing pretty good defense for them at linebacker. Obrizi.
40-yard line.
2nd and 16 from the 40. Mustangs fighting the clock, less than a minute, clock rolling. Reversing his field, Sanders again to the far side, being chased. Drummers after him, cannot catch him. Touchdown Lancers from 40. John L. Sanders.
Wow. Is he lighting them up tonight?
He is. Prolific might be an understatement. His stats coming in were prolific, and so far he's on pace to top any of his previous performances. 47-22. They line up to go for 2. He keeps, fakes a pass, keeps, delays, lobs for the end zone. Intercepted by Taylor. So they settle for the 6 and the 47-22 lead. Another look as he reverses field, bumps into a blocker, and then turns up the heat. You see Drummer's going to try to chase him on the angle. Got a little brush block to hold him up, and Churchill can't catch him either.
Well, what I like is he's so elusive and he's got great late speed. He's got acceleration on his early part, and then he can close the run. He can really close it.
Well, 54 seconds to cover 33 yards. It was a 40-yard TD, the penalty yardage accounting for the discrepancy there. And Sanders is leaving his stamp on this game indelibly.
Well, he's got 4 touchdowns running himself, not counting his passing touchdown.
And they had the TD pass to Banks called back, the second one. Wow, what an evening. Certainly they are leaving an impression beginning next week for their Sierra Valley Conference opponents. Here's the kickoff. So another return by Drummer. Speaking of next week, we are back on track for another outstanding matchup, and there you see the details. From Elk Grove, it will be the Roseville Tigers visiting Cosumnes Oaks to take on a tough Wolfpack outfit that is a CAL, a CAL, a Capital Athletic League matchup, and important. Merced and company with 29 seconds to work with here at the end of the third quarter. He's rushed from the blind side, picks up a block, has a completion over the middle to Drummer, who's got room to run, big speed. Wow, nice, sure, a forward lateral. Oh my goodness, where have I seen that before? Whenever I get a jab in the side from the Imperator, I know that we're seeing something weird.
That was a surprise to me. Oh, my goodness. Oh. I don't know when the last time I saw one of those, Will.
Well, I know we've seen it several times. There it is right there. See it? But they didn't shoot it. Oh, yeah. Down here on the field. Handing. The white. Still first down.
For the Mustangs at the 50-yard line.
Okay, so the chains move forward. They spot the ball at midfield. Don't ask me to explain it. All right, Hal Steinbach wants further clarification to satisfy both coaches. He comes to the near sideline to speak with the Cordova staff. Well, that'll give me time to acknowledge one of our supporters in grand fashion that has done a wonderful job in working with Access Sacramento in the game of the week. So we have to say that Hal Steinbach and his crew have controlled the game. It has not gotten out of hand. They've seen some weird things, as have we. And it's nice to have a veteran running the show here. As you know, when we get around the area, sometimes we pass hospitals and orphanages and stuff, and it's a treat. All right, Merced, deep right sideline, going for the jump ball again, but Churchill ran out of real estate and had deep coverage out there from Tyree Tate. 1.9 remaining here in the third, and host Cordova enjoying another very impressive offensive showcase.
Well, they really like that alley-oop to Drummer and to Taylor and to Churchill.
It will be 2nd and 10 for the Mustangs.
16 for 23 through the air after a real shaky start, so Merced's really come on. 249 yards passing, his best effort. One more play left unless there's a defensive penalty. Double wide, left and right. A flag flies on the incompletion as time runs out, but if it's a defensive penalty, we'll have one more play. If not, we'll call it a quarter.
Well, I believe that they'll start the second quarter with that penalty. Even with a defensive penalty, it's not the second or the fourth quarter, so we'll probably start that second quarter, fourth quarter, right there after the penalty.
As I said moments ago, this crew has really earned their keep tonight monitoring this game.
They have, and thank God they have a veteran leading them, Will.
You betcha. Al Steinbach.
Holding on the back, on the black.
So one more play. Defensive penalty. Holding in the secondary.
Holding. Okay, during the pass, on the black. One on time down.
So Merced and the Foothill offense back onto the field. Hail Mary time without the clock.
Well, it's only second down. They really don't have to go Hail Mary. They've got the football.
One untimed play. Let's see what they do with it. They flood the secondary, 4 receivers. Throw for bouncing off a tackler. Wow. Tyreek Tate prevents a TD as Merced hooks up with another long area for 38 yards.
Amos Taylor with a great reception.
47-22. Access Sacramento's Game of the Week would like to thank Round Table Pizza on Folsom Boulevard at Coloma for providing today's TV crew meal. Access Sacramento is a local nonprofit foundation, and we appreciate all of our underwriters for making these Game of the Week broadcasts possible. Thank you to Round Table Pizza here in Rancho Cordova for its support of Access Sacramento's Game of the Week. Rick Stewart, you got something for us.
All right, Ronnie Bean is here with me, the cheer coach here at Cordova. They tell me that 2 years ago when you came on board, there were 17 in both levels of cheerleaders, but the culture has changed. What's the deal with that? What happened?
I think we made cheer just be like a fun experience to come out. And so now last year I had 37, now I have 44. So we're constantly growing. We're super excited about it.
And I understand that you're trying to get things going to where you can start really doing well at national competitions too.
Yeah, this will be our first year competing. We will do one national competition and then do a new competition called Stunt, where the girls go head-to-head against other schools just stunting.
Stunt, that's like athleticism, right?
Yes. I mean, it's a big risk to be in cheer, too. It's not just a club. It is definitely a sport. We lift girls, we throw girls, and, I mean, it's definitely a risk.
Outstanding. Well, congratulations on changing the culture, improving it, and working for bigger goals.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, Ronnie. Back to you guys upstairs.
Hey, thanks a lot, Stu. Fourth quarter's underway here, and we got a little goal line scenario going on, as we heard from Ronnie and the cheer scenario. So, Foothill, deep with an opportunity. Merced throws to the end zone. A leaping grab at the goal line. Don't know if he got in. There was a defender over his back.
It's too dark to see their numbers. Our apologies.
You know, I love to see that again, because he looked like he was having a rebound like in basketball, and they were all over his back. But I thought maybe he had penetration or broke the plane.
Well, here's another look coming up. Tyreek Tate was over the back, but to no avail, as the excellent reception puts the ball at the 1 yard line. And let's see what Merced and company can do to smack it in there and draw closer. Wow, the football knocked loose. Here's a fumble recovery on the dead run. Let's see if he can go the distance. And he will not be touched. Wow, a goal line fumble turns into another Lancer touchdown. And who comes up with it? My. Look what I've got. Cashing in, number 10, Yusuf Pugh. 94 yards on a fumble return, and the defense scores again. Wow, some costly turnovers after a clean first half. 3 of them now here in the second half committed by the Foothill Mustangs, and the longest play of the day, 94 yards, turned in by one of the Lancers' top run stoppers, Yusuf Pugh, who came into the game with 41 tackles, a sack, and 2 interceptions. Now a fumble return for a TD. A fake. Here they go to the corner. Who's there? Not enough. 2 points, and again, Raymond Fight strikes again. And there's the replay and the fumble, scoop, and run by Pugh. It's been all Lancers and too much Lancers tonight. We'll be right back.
Every year, tens of thousands of young people experience homelessness. If you or someone you know needs help, 1-800-RUNAWAY can provide support and connect you to the right resources. Together, we can end youth homelessness.
Welcome back to the big show. We're at Cordova High School tonight, where the host Lancers are systematically dismantling visiting Foothill. And it has come on a variety of plays, passing, running, defensive plays, and an all-around performance that perhaps is Cordova's best of the season.
Well, I'd say so. As we get ready for the kickoff, Will.
Drummer deep to receive, and he has
Go!
stung
Get down
the
there!
Lancers on his runbacks. Look at him go. Drummer has had at least 4 outstanding kickoff returns. This one across the 35. Good field position for Merced and the Mustangs.
Well, and they continue to kick to him, Will. Every kick has been to Drummer. which is amazing. They haven't kicked elsewhere.
I have no explanation.
And he's averaging unofficially 30 to 40-yard returns.
That's right. No, he has set the Mustang offense up beautifully on at least 4 occasions.
Well, here we are in the fourth quarter with 10 minutes to go. We've already had 1 touchdown, but we had a total of 40 points scored in the third quarter. That's a lot of points in 1 quarter.
Trading touchdowns, but not at the rate that will help Foothill.
No, that ratio is, they need a lot big difference in that to make up this deficit. Now they're down 33 points.
The 55 also represents the highest scoring total of the year thus far for Cordova. The previous high had been 40. So they've already put 55 on the board, and we got nearly an entire quarter to play here at Lancer Stadium. We have had an excessive number of situations that have created a stoppage in play, officials' conferences, and notifications to each sideline.
Well, again, mechanics, a little more mechanics would help us maybe what they're talking about to the sideline coaches, to what these explanations are about.
So the Mustangs ready to go, 1st and 10 from their 37-yard line. Fake a pass and run it. Hit, fumble. Won't make a call on that.
Well, once again, quarterback Merced has got to protect the football.
And that fumble was
he was very fortunate there. I thought they were going to lose possession. You've got to protect the football if you're going to run the ball.
So they're fortunate to pick up the 2 and get the ball back. 2nd and 8
for the Mustangs
from the 38.
38-yard line.
Clock rolling with 9:40 to go in the ball game. Roll and look. Throws over the middle, a low strike. Drummer again, incomplete though, I guess.
Well, yes, apparently the umpire ruled a trap there.
That pass was intended for number 8, Travion Drummer. Incomplete.
Well, it's hard to see everything with the naked eye. We saw a step out of bounds by Gutierrez down here. We saw a step on the goal line by Fight on the kickoff return. It's not easy.
We have the advantage of the replay.
Travion Drummer. There's Taylor beside him, 8 and 6, 3 wide receivers to the near side. Churchill also deep throw, sideline left. Overthrown for Churchill. And he had single coverage by Banks on that.
Let's have another look at that previous play we thought maybe was not a trap. There you see Merced deliver the ball. It wasn't incomplete. Nice job. Very well done. Good coverage.
And now 19 for 27 through the air. 291 yards credited to Merced. Again, repeating myself, his top performance of the year thus far. Wide open, Churchill undefended. Tate is after him, spins him around, he gets away. Touchdown, Mustangs. Wow.
That was number 17, Carlos Merced, hooking up with Travion Drummer. Touchdown, Mustangs.
62 yards.
Amos Taylor.
You know, I think I missed that one. I said Churchill, but there's some dispute on that. I guess it's Drummer, but 62 yards through the air, and Merced is having a whale of a ball game.
Not safety.
9:12 to go, fourth quarter. Tell you, number 17 there is earning respect. He's having a heck of a night, throwing for over 300. Carlos Merced to the end zone. Bubbled and grabbed by Drummer for the 2-point conversion. Boy, oh boy, what a ball game. And we'll get another look at the scoring connection as Merced goes high. And there it is there. It's Drummer, number 8, with the grab on the run. We'll be right back.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
.63 yards on 4 plays, covering a minute 10 seconds. The capper, 62-yard connection. Merced to Drummer, and a 2-point conversion to Drummer to account for 8 more, pulling the Mustangs within 55-30. Gutierrez, a bounding kickoff, a bullet, fielded clean and advanced nearly to midfield. Great field position upcoming for the Lancers, but certainly Foothill compelled to try for the onside kick.
Well, yeah, here we are with 9 minutes to go in a ball game that we've got 85 total points going for 100, and that's very well in sight at the way we're playing here. And we had no turnovers at the half, and then we've had at least 2 and maybe three in the second half that have all resulted in points, haven't it, Will?
They have indeed, and despite trailing here, Anthony Eustace was absolutely right about this being a breakout game for his ball club that has been in a scoring drought so severe that they've only scored 20 points in their last 3 games. Not the case tonight.
No, this is good news for the Foothill people.
Sanders keeps and gets buried. They didn't buy the fake. Drummer, one of the 2 Mustangs to issue the stop.
That's one of the few times they've stopped Sanders. I mean, that's rare tonight.
Loss of nearly 5. They're going to work from the 43-yard line. We'll call it 2nd and 15.
Well, they can get that back real quick with the receivers they have and the running ability of Sanders. I mean, that's really nothing. They can make up that difference in one play.
Triple wide receivers left. Sanders in heavy traffic has to go down. I'll tell you, Big 54 was looking him right in the eye, and Sanders used his best judgment on that play.
Well, he did. That's a lot to run into. You don't want to run into the Pasifea brothers. Let me tell you something. 315 and 275 to handle it.
They lose 3. 3rd and 18 from the Lancer 40. Sanders, a deep drop. They rush him. It's a screen. Banks takes it on the run. Big speed. He's going to go the distance. 60 yards, untouched. Sanders to Banks.
They run that bubble screen to Banks, and I'll tell you, you can bank that money and collect interest anytime you want to go to that.
And collect interest. Oh, I love that. I better see my financial advisor. 61-30.
Do it all, Banks.
With 7:21 to go. Banks taking his time walking back to apparently try a PAT. Fight will do the holding unless it's another fake, and they have faked beautifully tonight. Right in the middle of the field, equally distant between both hash marks. Good snap, spotted clean, boot on the way. Oh yes, a bullseye at 7:21 of the fourth. You'll see how the Lancers came up with their latest touchdown. His name is Banks.
Here he is. Watch him take it off, and he leaves the field.
It's been that way all night for the Lancers, dashing to victory. We'll be right back.
Hey Gabby, how you doing? How's the play date and sleepover?
Dad, it was great.
Awesome. Okay, I'm on my way. Hey guys, what are you doing?
We're going swimming. We're going biking. Yeah!
I'll see you in a little bit, guys. I love you.
Hi, babe. How was school today?
Hi, Dad. It was great.
Okay, honey. I'll be home soon. Remember, you're never too far away from your kids to be a dad. Reach out and take a second to check in, because sometimes the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Well, John L. Sanders and Alvin Banks have put on quite a show this evening here at Lancer Stadium. The crowd on both sides has had an opportunity to be treated to superlative play. The last scoring drive for Cordova, 3 plays covering 53 yards in less than 2 minutes. And again, it was that vaunted combination that is now becoming a household term in the high school community. Alvin Banks scoring on a 60-yard aerial connection from John L. Sanders. 62-30, Cordova rolling in week 4. On the dead run, nothing's changed there as Drummer takes it at full speed, breaks outside, room to work. Who can catch him? How about that Travy on, I think his kickoff return average is now going to be closer to about 45 to 50 yards.
Yes, it was. It was between 30 and 40, and once again, the kick went right to him. Automatic.
Is there anybody else detecting that habit, that pattern, that situation? We have a fallen Lancer on the far side, and we hope that is nothing serious. Don't want to speculate in any kind of a way, but it doesn't look like a leg cramp, as Hal Steinbach is going to issue proper protocol as we see a face mask penalty being called against Cordova, but that is not the priority at the moment. And from our executive statistician, I'll tell you, Travion Drummer has been pleasant factor tonight, most impressive. 9 grabs for 196. He's averaging 21.8. Has he been a giant thorn in Cordova's side?
And on top of it, his yardage on kickoff returns. He's put them so close to midfield and beyond midfield constantly throughout the night, putting him in great field position.
He certainly has. We are sorry to see starting lineman Andrew Turner being attended to, and of course his teammates right there, as you can see, very solemn, very worried and hopeful that this is nothing serious for their teammate Andrew Turner. Right leg being examined and tested, and of course Darren Nill, you can see head coach walking out to get a better idea of what's happening here. Well, Alvin Banks, as we see Turner being assisted here, and we might be able to see how that occurred. Let's take a look as we slow it down. Drummer on the return. There he is. Oh, I see. Got rolled up.
Got rolled up as he put Drummond down.
And his cleats stuck in the turf there. The flag was certainly not the important part of that play. It was a face mask, but this young man coming off, and we certainly admire his courage. Andrew Turner, junior starting lineman, and we want that to be a very speedy recovery. And as far as the stats are concerned, Jim, Banks has taken it to the bank. He's opened up another account here in his name, and it never stops.
Well, I'll tell you what, he has carte blanche as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, Merced back on the attack, throwing down the sideline, incomplete this time. Churchill intended, Banks with the coverage.
Well,
incomplete.
What a night, so much yardage. Both quarterbacks having probably a career night, unofficially. Really, John L. Sanders doing it all, running, throwing, and then coming into his own tonight. And Coach Eustace should be very happy with Carlos Merced. And I think that he feels very confident that he can lead them to a few victories in that conference that they play in, Will.
Well, confidence is everything, and we're seeing enough here to certainly warrant that type of confidence. 2nd and 10 now. Merced trying to get his club into the end zone again, throwing again. The deep ball gathered in. What are they going to call here? A Drummer touchdown coming from 34 yards out. Wow!
Hooks up with number 8, Travion Drummer. Touchdown, Mustangs.
It comes at the 6:54 in what is beginning to look like an unending game and an avalanche of points for both squads.
Well, when we talk about Banks,
Could be Drummer.
we don't want to necessarily put Drummer in the same situation, but he could have, I believe, 5 here at least, what I see.
Okay, they line up for 2. Roll, look, throw back across the grain, broken up. Pugh with the deflection. And we'll take a look at the touchdown that was most bizarre, particularly the way Drummer handled his success here, as he nonchalantly hits pay dirt as no big deal. We'll be right back.
My journey skating for the gold taught me a lot, but my journey with breast cancer has been one of my greatest teachers.
Every woman's breast cancer is unique. Be Wiser educates and empowers women to take control of their breast cancer treatment plan and help navigate their own path beyond 5 years.
Talk to your doctor about information and tests to personalize a treatment plan that fits your needs. I did. Be informed, be wiser, support survivors like us.
Well, we've been fortunate to see quite a scoring display by both teams. 62-36. Here's the onside boot by Gutierrez, taken clean at the Cordova 40 and working through untouched. How about that? All the way across inside the 30. Boy, oh boy, that was a heck of a return and virtually undefended. That onside kick did not work. So it's going to set up Cordova beautifully with a 1st and 10 from the Foothill 26. Cordova runs the football. They're going to work on the clock now as they get inside the 25-yard line to about the 22.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, in a game like this, Imperator, sometimes it can be exceedingly difficult to select a player of the game, but I think we're going to come out okay with our selections. And as a reminder, our Rick Stewart will be visiting with our players of the game and the winning coach tonight. But before we get to that, there's better than 6 minutes to go in this one. Fight with the carry. Steps away from 3 tacklers. What a nifty runner. He makes the, wow, did he get inside the 20?
That was number 12, Raymond Fight with the carry. And he was met by a host of Mustang tacklers.
Well, we talked about reaching 100 points total. We're at 97, Will, heading for that century mark. And I would not be surprised if we go over that century mark, would you?
Not at all. In fact, the odds are probably in favor of that, particularly if Cordova can cash this in. But we have a fallen Mustang at the 20-yard line, and that is their ace lineman right there. We're speaking of TJ Pisafia, one of the top college recruits in this area, and he seems to be shaking that off as he walks off. But
yeah, I don't think it's a serious injury. The way he's walking.
This has been a wild one. Matter of fact, the last time we covered Cordova here, it was a wild one when they hooked up with Vista and scored a ton.
Well, as you know, last week Vista and them hooked up for another
they
wild
did.
one.
Rick Stewart standing by with some news. Rick?
All right, Andrew Turner, a little bit of an ankle problem. It was not a leg, it was ankle. They're working on it over here. They're trying to put some weight on it with him. He's doing it, but it's not a good thing. So back to you guys.
All right, Rick, thank you very much for the update. I hope that one is a favorable result for that young man. Left side running. Gee whiz, that was a nice push right there. They're shy of a first as they get to the 15, and that'll bring up 4th down after that 6-yard gain. They're close to a first, and they move the stakes. What a push. You know, we like Clifford Bright.
Number 75, Joseph Salcedo. Enough for a first down. It'll be 1st and 10 for our Lancers now at the 16-yard line.
Lancers taking their time. Less than 5 minutes remaining. A blast up the middle. They make the 10. Gain of about 6 right there.
That was number 26, Elijah Jenkins with the carry. Off the block of number 77, Austin McCoy. A gain of about 5 yards.
They reach the 10-yard line, making up
The tackle
2nd
for
and
the
4.
Mustangs was number 4, Fernando Reyes. That'll bring up 2nd and 5 for our Lancers at about the 11-yard line.
More running as they allow that clock to continue to roll at the 4:10 mark.
Making the tackle for the Mustangs was number 5, Calvin Johnson.
Coach Neal, right now, just sure he'd like to get in the end zone for one more, but not in a big hurry. He's just going to grind it out here.
He throws. A flag flies, and it's a touchdown reception. We'll wait to sort out the penalty as McMoore, a standout linebacker, tight end, might be disallowed here.
Well, he threw it at the O-line. It looks like a hold coming.
Eligible downfield on the block.
Well, this game has had many twists and turns and falls and rises. 62-36, Cordova with 3:40 to go. Inside running, backward nearly, inside the 10-yard line. Taylor, number 6, with the stop. He got some support from Churchill.
But Clifford Bright.
No, Bright is excellent. You know, he's only had 3 carries coming into this game, but defensively is where he shined off and on throughout the season as a backup. Clifford Bright, 15 tackles and a sack. And here's another look at this big man. Look at that.
He's a big one. He's listed 212, but according to Coach, he's more like 220. Like he certainly looks it.
4th and 2 from the 8. Turn and give. McMoore trying to power up. Short of the goal line.
Number 24, Clifford Bright. With another good
Bright with the carry, my bad. And they spotted him like at the 1 yard line.
I thought he got in, Will, myself, but I guess his knee touched.
Credit to number 26, Elijah Jenkins, who made a nice block on that play. It'll be first
So the
and
ball
goal
goes
for
over
Lancers at about the
as
3-yard line.
Are they calling it a first down? Evidently, he got to the first down marker.
First and goal.
Okay.
And give it to Bright.
They power up at the goal line. Flag flies. They call it a touchdown, but we'll wait and see about the penalty.
That again was number 24, Clifford Bright, running up the middle. We got a flag on that play.
5 block. Help.
That was a personal foul against our Lancers.
Chase Allen being called out. Again, referee Steinbach attaches a name to the infraction.
Well, I think Hal Steinbach, the head referee, made that very clear.
It appears that number 55, Rubin Stepaniak.
Well, we have a fallen
Got hurt on that play. Let's hear
Mustang there. And gee whiz, the injuries are piling up rapidly here in the later stages of this game. But back to Clifford Bright. Before those impressive carries, defensively, off the bench, he's been a standout. He's a pass rusher with 6 hurries and a sack, 15 tackles. He caused a fumble and he's recovered a fumble. That is a nice backup right there.
And not bad, and it comes off the bench to do that. He's a load to stop. He is a load.
Mr. Bright with bright days here on this Cordova Lancers football squad. 4 carries for 19 for Cliff.
And he's had 3 called back. Don't forget, he's had 3 penalties. He could very conceivably have 40 yards. He is a load. And right now they're content just to pound you and not run. I wouldn't be either, because I wouldn't want to lose a guy like Janelle. I really wouldn't.
Well, the penalty moves him back there.
Yeah. Well, we don't need Janelle Sanders to carry the ball.
There he is right there. What they don't need, he fumbles out of bounds after being stripped there by number 4, cornerback Reyes. But it's a big gainer here in the final 2:20, and his yardage continues with compound daily interest.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
He and Banks have their own savings and loan going.
Well, I'm telling you, they have their own account. My goodness. I like an investment in those two.
So here we are, trying to burst ahead near the goal line. No call. Are we bringing up 3rd and inches? Well, the 98 points we've got on the board is apparently going to be challenged with another score to go over the century mark.
That was number 26, Elijah Jenkins, with the last carry.
Powering into the end zone, a big push, still on their feet. Touchdown, Lancers.
Sanders again.
Well, I've lost track on the arithmetic. A 1-yard TD run for Sanders. It comes at the 141 mark. No mercy shown by the Lancers. 68-36. And this game has produced touchdowns in abundance, frequently, early on, often, and a fan's delight.
Well, once again, these teams love to score, and we haven't seen too much defense tonight.
And we were prepared for that, and it held true. The big difference, the surprising difference, was the upswing in quarterback Merced from Foothill High School having his greatest day. and helping them account for 36 points. The boot by Banks, a bullet through the uprights. Now 69-36, and from the one, Sanders dances in another TD. We'll be right back.
My journey skating for the gold taught me a lot, but my journey with breast cancer has been one of my greatest teachers.
Every woman's breast cancer is unique. Be Wiser educates and empowers women to take control of their breast cancer treatment plan and help navigate their own path beyond 5 years.
Talk to your doctor about information and tests to personalize a treatment plan that fits your needs. I did. Be informed, be wiser, support survivors like us.
Well, our executive statistician, Gary Martin, has filled up his scorecard this evening. 69-36, rapid-fire scoring here. Host Cordova dancing on top and visiting Foothill, reaching some new heights this year. 74 yards in 7 plays, consuming 5 minutes, 10 seconds. Sanders finishing off the drive by dancing in from the one. It has been relentless, non-stop, continuous scoring action from the Lancers tonight. Well, a penalty marker comes out as the attempted kick goes out of bounds. You have got some impressive numbers there, Imperator.
Well, Sanders officially has 126 yards on 20 carries. 5 running touchdowns, and passing 207.
Well, the football parked at the 40. Mr. Sanders has had a stellar evening, one that should make the papers, and certainly one that should wake up all opponents anticipating a game in the Sierra Valley Conference against these Lancers. Oh my. So Foothill in possession. They've got the ball at the 40, and they make a change at the quarterback position as deep throw. Well, incomplete on the throw by backup Zach Gray. Coach Anthony Eustace getting his number 2 QB in there. But what a night for his number 1 QB, Carlos Merced.
Biggest night of his career, and Coach has got to feel good about that. And Carlos will go into league play with a lot more confidence than he did a week ago.
And that's what really counts, is the league games. These are supposed to be warm-up games to get you
ready for
playing
league play.
in midfield in mid-season form.
Correct. And Carlos new at this game at quarterback, and I like the way he came out and played. He had a rough first quarter, but boy, he responded after that.
Lots of subs on the field now for the Foothill Mustangs. However, Drummer is not among them. They go to him again. It's underthrown. Incomplete. Drummer has done damage tonight and given a special account of himself and fair warning to everyone in the Pioneer Valley League as we see a good shot of him there.
Very definitely. He has a lot of talent. He can jump, and I'm impressed with their other receivers as well. Isaiah Churchill's had a good night. Amos Taylor.
No, they have a superb brigade of receivers.
Very definitely. And Carlos Merced has been able to get him the football tonight, and as long as he gets it up high and puts his nose of the football up, he's got a chance because those people will out-jump most secondary people.
They went to that type of pass a lot, but also, in those other drives, he had some nice low trajectory, short bullets too.
Yes, he did. And they run the bubble screen extremely well, as we know that. But I'll tell you, in terms of the bubble screen and anything that Banks gets his hands on, he can take it to the house.
Well, their speed was tremendous tonight, and Foothill showed some big speed too. This was quite a ball game. Well, we're gonna look at a 40-yard line play upcoming, 4th and 10, and I think the Cordova Lancers can pretty much finish off the clock here.
They didn't have enough people on the field, so they had to use a timeout.
Okay, stick around. We'll be right back to finish this one up.
My journey skating for the gold taught me a lot, but my journey with breast cancer has been one of my greatest teachers.
Every woman's breast cancer is unique. Be Wiser educates and empowers women to take control of their breast cancer treatment plan and help navigate their own path beyond 5 years.
Talk to your doctor about information and tests to personalize a treatment plan that fits your needs. I did. Be informed, be wiser, support survivors like us.
(69-36), the Cordova Lancers have worn it out in the scoring column tonight. As we're looking at a 4th and 10 punt formation for visiting Foothill, they have put up 36 on the board. They fake it. Gutierrez on the move. Nice move to the outside. Big first down. Never say die. Foothill still giving it their best.
Well, he showed me some good running ability and speed.
He sure did.
He's got himself a 2-pointer tonight. Earlier.
Yes.
Move the chains.
On the famous sideline play, yes, I
remember.
Yes,
that was a famous sideline.
And that produced one of our best stop-action camera reviews to reveal that sideline moment. So the football in Cordova territory at the Lancer 43, under a minute to play now. Clock rolling, and substitute quarterback Zach Gray on in relief. Carlos Merced. Give to the big back. I like that fullback a lot. He has been a power plus type runner, BJ Ambrosisi.
We haven't seen him run the football since the first quarter.
Well, with the big deficit.
Throw the ball.
Well, down to 25 seconds. The Mustangs will get up at least one more play. 15 yards on 11 tough carries. The forward pass deflected, and McMoore just came in and blasted Zach Gray. The clock is running. The deficit is substantial. And this one is in the book. 69-36, a monumental offensive display by the Cordova Lancers, and a performance worthy of showing optimism and promise for the Foothill Mustangs. As we see the marching band now seated for host Cordova, they put on quite a show for us, as did their football team tonight here on Access Sacramento's hometown sports game of the week. The band in jubilation, having seen quite a performance by their squad, and on the field we see the sportsmanship that's typical of teams playing in the Sac Joaquin section. Coach, quite a dazzling performance.
I would say so. I think the crowd got their money's worth. They saw a lot of scoring. There's a lot of skilled players on the field tonight. I think obviously both of them would like to get their defense a little more intact as they get ready for league play. but they have the ability to put points on the board. Even Foothill tonight showed some offense for the first time this season. So Coach has got to be happy about that part.
He's got to be happy about that and happy about the fact that he called their breakout tonight from an offensive scoring slumber that had produced only 20 points in their previous 3 games. Tonight, 36 on the board for the Mustangs.
Well, he was right. When you talked to him during the week, he emphasized that, didn't he?
He certainly did. Well, we invite you to stick around for our post-game segment. Rick Stewart will be chatting with the players of the game, and they were players tonight, and the winning coach. We'll be right back.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Your teenager, naturally pushing the rules to their limits. When they push too far, call the Boys Town National Hotline at 800-448-3000. Our trained counselors are there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to provide advice and resources for problems big or small.
Gaining weight was easy. All I had to do was sit down and eat. Losing weight's a lot harder. I have to work at it every day. But with every step, I lower my risk for type 2 diabetes and heart disease. And that makes every step, every choice, every day very much worth the effort.
Learn how you can help stop diabetes by losing weight, eating healthy, and staying active. Visit checkupamerica.org or call 1-800-DIABETES.
The verdict is in, and the decision is final this evening at Cordova High School, where tonight on Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week, it was a remarkable offensive performance by the host Lancers as they put 69 on the board to take out visiting Foothill High School. We had abundant candidates for our players of the game, and I'm pleased with the decisions we have reached. Rick Stewart is standing by with the guests, and here they are on your graphic. Travion Drummer, who did it all tonight for Foothill, and for the Cordova Lancers, the 1-2 punch of QB John L. Sanders and wide receiver Alvin Banks lit it up like a pinball machine tonight. Rick is standing by with our players of the game. Rick?
All righty, Travion. Nice night tonight, 105 points in the game. I mean, and you were a major part of that several different ways. 3 touchdown catches, but also special teams. You did a tremendous job out there. What'd you think of that? I mean, the coverage that they had on you tonight, were you expecting that?
No, not for real. I told my quarterback he couldn't stick me. I told him throw it up, you feel me? And an athlete gonna be an athlete, so he did what he did.
All right, excellent. Well, Merced had a good night too. They had a lot of passing. I mean, he hasn't had the greatest season so far, but he had a really good night tonight.
Yeah. We worked together as a team, you feel me? We did what we did, but we didn't get the win tonight, but we worked together.
It's good foundation. You got a whole another year and a half to go, so you're gonna be setting some marks tonight.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Travion. Good luck. All right, now Alvin Banks, receiver here, couple touchdown passes tonight. The offense was moving tonight. The defense, they allowed some points, but still, I mean, you almost doubled them up. It was a good night tonight.
Yeah, it's thankful for my team, and yeah.
All right. When you're looking at your quarterback, now he's had 5 rushing touchdowns. So, when he has that kind of ability to move around, you guys get open at the last minute. He's hit you several times. What's the key there? Is it just the offensive line play that gives you the time?
Yes, we had good lines, good blocking, and just made the play.
Excellent. What was the key for you tonight?
Just score, pick up, get big numbers, and all that.
All right, Alvin. Congratulations on a game tonight, and best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, Alvin. All right, Janelle Sanders, tremendous game. Now, the numbers say you're 5'8", 5'9". I mean, is that an impediment to you size-wise? I mean, didn't look like it by the stats.
Not really. And the size don't matter. It's all about heart.
Okay, all right. 5 touchdowns rushing, bunch passing, over 150 yards rushing, probably decent. I don't know what the numbers were for your passing, but probably 200-plus passing. Is that the kind of game that you expect?
As a junior, it was one of a game. Like, it was exciting.
Yeah, it's always exciting, especially when you can put up 69 points on the board against anybody. What was the key for you tonight?
Just stay focused and just help my team to the W.
You're getting hit out there by some really big guys on some of those plays. Is that something that you even think about?
Not really.
Not really. Okay. Well, you keep doing what you're doing, young man. You're going to keep going somewhere, all right?
Thank you.
All right. Congratulations on the game, and best of luck this season. All right, Coach. You came in here, and you knew you were going to be able to score. I mean, I think it was like a kind of a winking thing, like, yeah, we can score. We talked to you at halftime. Did the adjustments you make work?
Yeah, it was more just execution. We just had to focus on what we had to do and what we do best. And, we knew they had some great athletes. I mean, that Travion is a leaper, and he can go get the ball. So we knew we were going to give up some points. We just had to make sure we just kept coming back and doing what we do best.
Sanders is one of those quarterbacks that, at least to my eyes, where you could put him on the field and he can destroy a team any number of ways. Do you run specific things for him to do specific things, or is it just like, you hate to say it's a freewheeling type offense, but that's kind of what it looks like sometimes?
Yeah, you might not know it. It looks like sometimes chaos, but my OC does a great job, Kyle Relay. And so he's a quarterback coach. He gets our quarterbacks ready, and no matter who we have, next man up. Last year John L. wasn't even playing quarterback, and this year he's putting up phenomenal numbers. And that's Kyle Relay.
Yeah, and that's a whole system that you have here, and the culture's changing. You're bringing back Cordova Lancer football.
Well, I hope so. I mean, it's been a long time coming. So, we this is what we want, and this is what this city deserves.
Excellent, Coach. Good job today. Best of luck the rest of the season, too.
Thanks so much.
All right, thanks for being with us. All right, guys, we're going to send it back up to you. Big scoring tonight. Hey, it's 105 points. I'll take that anytime.
I would, too, and frankly, I can't count that high. I'm glad you figured it out for me because it was a scoring binge that we haven't seen the likes of that I can recall for a long, long time. Not since Folsom's 71 at the half against Roseville in a playoff. But tonight, up and down the field they went in Piratora. There was no mercy. They were consistent. They did shake off a rash of second-half penalties, and 69 is rather imposing. I'm quite sure this will draw attention all around the area.
I think it will. They've got a lot of playmakers on that Cordova squad. And so, with that in mind, and the quarterback a triple threat like Sanders, obviously things are going to happen. He can hurt you via the air and running the football. And so I think both of them have to tighten up their defenses and not just try to outscore people. But they both have a lot of playmakers, and we saw that tonight. We had a lot of fireworks. We had probably 3 to 4 turnovers in the second half, none in the first half. But I would say Cordova will definitely be a contender in their league. With these kind of playmakers that they have. And if they continue to make some improvement on defense, they won't have to outscore everybody.
Well, that is a key part, and I'm sure that Coach Neal will work on that. And our executive statistician, Gary Martin, crunched up, 105 on the night. And let's take a look at his final stats because that is a marvelous job right there. Jim?
Well, let's look at that rushing yards of Cordova here, 242, and of which probably Sanders had probably my goodness, half of that rushing yardage. Passing yards, 207. And this is amazing. Foothill with 387.
Carlos Merced.
Carlos had a career night, didn't he? Total offense, as we look at this, 471, 449. The losers with more yards than the winners. The first downs are almost even.
Well, we succeeded on the 100-point total and just short on the 1,000 yards for total.
Wow, that's true. Look at the first downs close, the penalties. Cordova had more turnovers, hurt Foothill. They all resulted in touchdowns. Time of possession almost even. So the scoreboard reflects a huge difference. But when you look at the stats, and stats don't win football games. You know, it's the points on the scoreboard that do count. But Foothill did show they can score points finally, and Cordova, like we said, has got to tighten up the D. They have many ways to hurt you. Jonell Sanders is a genuine triple threat. I mean, he can do it all, and he's got the receivers to go. You know, we say take it to the banks, but you look at Colvin and Bankett and Fight, they're all pretty good too. So I'd say, once again, as you look at those, very, very impressive stats. 240 on the ground, 42 on the ground. And what did Sanders get, half of that?
Well, he was astronomical. Individually speaking, Sanders, oh boy, 20 for 126 on his own. Fight carried for 27 and Banks for 30 to help account for that 242. On the other side, you know, Abercrombie was a real workhorse, getting minimal yardage, but tough inside, and Merced scrambled himself for 41. So I got nothing but praise for both squads, and it's an ideal tune-up game as both of these clubs go into league play next week. Coach Nill has got to be just exuberant about that performance there, and will work on his defense. And as far as the visitors are concerned, Anthony Eustace and the Mustangs, he called his breakout game accurately. He saw it coming, and that 36 was impressive, and Merced was off the chart. So positive signs for both squads as they now prepare for league play beginning next week.
Well, like once again, Sanders showed again that he can lead the show. They don't miss last year's quarterback, the way I look at it.
As a matter of fact, I'm kind of interested that you brought that up. You know, when one door closes, another one opens, and we were here a year ago and were treated to a wonderful offensive display by Cordova. And at that point in time, their offense was in the hands of Xavier Johnson. He has moved on to pastures that he assumed would be greener, but in his place, wow, John L. Sanders making a name for himself. So Katie by the door, circle the wagons.
You got it. I think they've already forgot about Xavier, don't you?
Short memory. Well, that's the way it shakes out this evening here in Rancho Cordova, where at Lancer Stadium on the campus of Cordova High School, the hosts come up big, they come up gigantic with a big-time 69 on visiting Foothill. The Access Sacramento and Hometown Sports Game of the Week broadcast crew wish to extend their deep appreciation to the Cordova High School administration, particularly Athletic Director Tom Pena, for their cooperation and assistance with the broadcast arrangements for this television sports production. The Hometown Sports Game of the Week is a special sports presentation of Access Sacramento in association with Play-by-Play Sports Productions. For Jim Domino, Rick Stewart, Game Director Ronicia Harris, Executive Statistician Gary Martin, and our entire Hometown Sports Game of the Week broadcast crew, I'm Will James. We thank you for tuning in and look forward to the next occasion when we can get together. So long, everyone.
This program from Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week is available for purchase on DVD. For more information, call Access Sacramento, 916-456-8600, extension 0. This has been a Hometown Sports Game of the Week broadcast from Access Sacramento. This program is funded in part by a grant from the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission.